Kiki Media, we're bringing the world closer to your doorstep.
Kiki Media, Kiki Media, Kiki Media, we bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Kiki Media, Kiki Media. Kiki Media, we bringing the world closer to your doorstep. Àwa sálára àgbà yìí dá, àwa ló láṣà àti èdè. Gbígbédè lárugẹ nílẹ̀ Oòduà o, àwa gangan ni bàbá. Kiki Media, Kiki Media, Kiki Media. Closer to your doorstep. They never sabi waiting we carry for her. But they move closer before they to sabi. I said they never know waiting we carry for body. But they move closer before they to sabi. Ọ̀kín lọ lọ́jà ẹyẹ, kìnìún ló ló lajú. Ẹyẹ tó lórí kodò bí àdán, ọ̀pẹ̀jẹ̀ lẹ́nu. Ká ṣiṣẹ́ fún ilẹ̀ bàbá wa. Ká ṣiṣẹ́ fún ìlú bàbá wa, ká jùmọ̀ sowọ́pọ̀ ká lè gbódùdú àga. Odùduwà kò bá lè gbé wa. Ọmọ Odùduwà ṣègìrì. Ẹ dìde fún ẹ̀tọ́ adúláwọ̀, ká lè jọ jùmọ̀ gbé délẹ̀ ìlérí, ká wálé gba ògo ilẹ̀ wa. Ká ṣiṣẹ́ ká lè jọ gbàdé, ká lè gbàdé adé adúláwọ̀. Àwa ni mọ̀lẹ̀ tí yóò tàn káàkiri. Ọmọ Odùduwà ni wá. Kiki Media, àwa là ń gbé tó lárugẹ. Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó tiwa mọ́ ni. Kásá ẹgbẹ́ polówó ọjà wá kájé gbúgbà yín jẹ. Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó tiwa mọ́ ni. À ń gbé tó lárugẹ, à ń gbàsà lárugẹ. Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó. News and sports, ẹ máa rí gbọ́. Ètò tó pọ̀jù owó tiwa máa ní. Ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú alárẹ̀ mi ló ní kí n máa ké tantan. Kiki Media, ọlọ́lá gbajúmọ̀ mi o. Máa bá ṣẹ̀rẹ̀ lọ o. Ọmọ Yorùbá nìyẹn, ọmọ Yorùbá tata o. À ń gbádùn rẹ̀, ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú alárẹ̀ mi. Ṣẹ́yìn ló máa fi dìbò tẹ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ o. Ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ onígbò máa ń dé máa dé. Ẹ̀yin lọ́mọ onígbò máa wọ̀ o. Igbó máa wọ̀ gájòjì ò gbọ́dọ̀ wọ̀. Àjòjì tó bá wọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ á dẹ̀dẹ̀ ní ẹbọra. Ẹ̀yin lọ́ máa náwó kóyìnbó tó dé. Ìgbà tó yìnbó dé o, owó náà dẹ́ tún pọ̀ sí o. Kiki Media, ṣàwa ni bàbá. Kiki Media, àwọn ni bàbá. Kiki Media, àwọn ni bàbá. Àdáńtọ́ àtúnpèrègèdè. Kiki Media, àwọn ni bàbá. Àwa là ń gbé tó lárugẹ, jẹ́ ká jọ gbọ́ o. Kiki Media, àwọn ni bàbá. Àtúnjà fẹ́tọ̀ ilẹ̀ wa, fẹ́tọ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Kiki Media, àwọn ni bàbá. Ọmọ Oòduà ni wá o. Tọkàntọkàn. Kiki Media, àwọn ni bàbá. Ikú tí ó ṣe bí lébi òsì, àdìmú bàbá iyọ̀. Kiki Media, àwọn ni bàbá. We bring you work closer to your doorstep. Kiki Media, àwọn ni bàbá. Afẹ́fẹ́ tó ń fẹ́ o tó ń kan kí oko lára ni. Kiki Media, àwọn ni bàbá. Àpèrègèdè Olódùmarè ló fún wa ṣe. Kiki Media, àwọn ni bàbá. Gbogbo ayé ẹ gbọ́, àwa ni bàbá o. Kiki Media, àwọn ni bàbá. Ẹ máa bọ̀ wá ẹgbẹ́ polówó ọjà yín wá o. Kiki Media, àwọn ni bàbá. Odùduwà la gbé dání, òtítọ́ la gbé dání. Kiki Media, àwọn ni bàbá. A kì í sọ̀dálẹ̀, a kì í sódìkẹta. Kiki Media, àwọn ni bàbá. Àdúró tán, a tún pèrègèdè. Kiki Media, àwọn ni bàbá. Media, we bring you work closer to your doorstep. Kiki Media is around
To give us latest.
Is around
To give us latest.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Ẹ mú kalẹ̀ sílẹ̀, ẹ tẹ́tí ẹ gbọ́ ètò tó pójú gbogbo.
ladies and gentlemen,
Ẹ mú kalẹ̀ sílẹ̀, ẹ tẹ́tí ẹ gbọ́ ètò tó pójú gbogbo.
Kiki Media is around.
To give us
mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá o, mo kí yín lóko, mo kí yín lómi o, mo kí yín lọ́nà ọjà, ẹ kú iṣẹ́ o, a kú ọdún tuntun o, ọdún ayàbò fún wa o, ọdún yìí á yàtọ̀ ní ìtàn ilẹ̀ Yorùbá o, ọdún yìí la máa gba ara wa jáde kúrò Nàìjíríà o, Ọlọ́run tí ń fẹ́, àwa ò kì í ṣe Nàìjíríà mọ́ o, Yorùbá làwa. Ó ti tó gẹ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ìyà ń jẹ lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́, onílé lọ́nà tó gbọ́dọ̀ lọ dúró sẹ́bà títì kó bàa lè tọrọ owó díẹ̀ kó lè fi jẹun, ẹ máa rọ́jò, ó kù díẹ̀. Àwọn òbí tí ò lè mọ́mọ wọn ránṣẹ́ sí ilé ìwé mọ́ torí pé èkínní kò sí oúnjẹ tán máa fún ọmọ yẹn jẹ kó tó kúrò nílé láàárọ̀, wọn dẹ̀ lówó tán lè fún pé kó fi oúnjẹ jẹ lọ́nà. So ó bẹ́tà kó jókòó sílé tì wọ́n kan kéékèèké tán bá rí sánjọ máa fẹ́ lọ. The result is that àwa Yorùbá náà máa ń kà ní Áfíríkà tẹ́lẹ̀ pé the high level of schooling láàrin àwọn ọmọdé. Wọ́n bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ pé out of school children, bíi pé kò sí out of school children nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ni, òmíràn ni out of school children máa ń wà ní Nàìjíríà ní Áfíríkà. Àti ìwádìí people tí out of school children pọ̀ láàrin wa, òun dẹ̀ pọ̀ sí i. Ẹ jẹ́ á máa rọ́jú. Ẹjọ́ ò jìnnà mọ́ tá a máa jáde kúrò ní Nàìjíríà bọ́ lọ́wọ́ tó ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ pé gbogbo yín kẹ́ máa fi sí àdúrà. Ọlọ́run fẹ́ràn Yorùbá, Ọlọ́run tí ń dá wa lóhùn, á dẹ̀ dá wa lóhùn. Mi ò lè sọ fún yín gbogbo àṣírí nǹkan tí à ń ṣe kò possible because ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ní àwọn ìjọba tá à ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ àgbùdọ̀ máa sọ síta. Àdúrà ni mo sáà fẹ́ kẹ́ máa gbà. Nǹkan tí àwọn bàbá yìí ṣe táwọn Sunday Igboho ṣe, Olódùmarè jẹ́ kó bọ́ sí. Tó bá bọ́ sí a máa kúrò nínú Nàìjíríà lọ́dún, a fẹ́ káwọn ènìyàn wá dúró síbẹ̀ náà. At all, the Nigerian economy has collapsed. Ìyẹn ò ní nǹkan kan ṣe pẹ̀lú ẹ̀yàn tiwa, ẹ̀jẹ̀ wa tó ń ṣe president. Àwa ò hate ẹni tiwa o. We love him. We admire his capabilities. He is obviously the most capable Nigerian politician alive today, no question. and we are proud of him. But ìyẹn ò ní nǹkan kan ṣe pẹ̀lú àwa pé ọ̀rọ̀ àwa Yorùbá. We are going to a máa sọ bá a ṣe bó ṣe yẹ ká ṣe sí president ìkíni kó má ṣàìtì wá. Ìbá jẹ́ Ìgbò, ìbá jẹ́ Fulani, ìbá jẹ́ Hausa, ìbá jẹ́ Yorùbá, bákan náà la ṣe máa ṣe sí president tó jọmọ ti wá. And nǹkan tá a dẹ̀ fẹ́ kí president ṣe ni pé kó jọ̀ọ́ kó ṣètò kò mà ní dá ó jẹ́ gbà tiẹ̀ ní gbogbo wa wá ń jà tí ẹ̀jẹ̀ ń ṣàn ní gbogbo ilẹ̀ Nàìjíríà kálukú làwọn ń lọ àwa Yorùbá la fẹ́ lọ àwọn Ìgbò ti ń sọ ṣáájú wa pé àwọn ń lọ àwọn ìjọ ti join wa àwọn náà ti kọ lẹ́tà sí president pé àwọn náà fẹ́ lọ àwọn Haúsá ti tún wọ́n ń dá join báyìí náà pé àwọn náà. Ibi tá ọ̀rọ̀ burúkú làwọn èèyàn dẹ̀ wá sọ sí ara wọn from one ethnic group to another. Àwọn nǹkan tí àwọn Fúlàní ń sọ sí president lẹ́nu bí oṣù kan àbí oṣù bíi méjì yìí ó le o. Ogun ló ń bọ̀ yìí o. Ìkan lára àwọn leaders Fúlàní tó rẹ̀ka ní imam ni. Ó sọ ní about 4 or 5 days ago wípé divide Nigeria now or if you don't do it Mr. President we shall start a war. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká sọ pé ẹ má dá lóhùn ẹni tó bá ń ṣe leader gbogbo ayé ò gbúdọ̀ sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ o ẹ dá lóhùn o. Ẹ má sọ pé ẹ má dá lóhùn onísọkúsọ ni ẹ má sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Ẹ dá lóhùn ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ́ra jókòó wọ́ọ́rọ́wọ́ ká pín country kí kálukú máa lọ sí tiẹ̀ ká lọ tọ́jú ara ká pín lọ́nà tó jẹ́ pé lẹ́yìn ìgbà tá a bá kúrò tán a lè máa ṣọ̀rẹ́ ara wa o. Pé ìlú Nàìjíríà kò sí ìlú tí ò lè pín sí wẹ́wẹ́ o. Kò sí country náà láyé tí ò lè break up o. Kò sí o. Ọlọ́run ò tí ì dárú country bẹ́ẹ̀ sáyé rí o. Country kò lè rọ́nà o. Láyé time tá a wà yìí ara àwọn ìjọba tó lágbára jù ní gbogbo ayé ní ìjọba Soviet Union. In 1991 ó break up. 15 different countries ló jáde ní Soviet Union. The Soviet Union was one of the richest, most powerful governments on earth, countries on earth. Ó break up. So ẹnìkan kan máa sọ pé Nàìjíríà lè kí ló dé tí Nàìjíríà ò lè break up. Ọlọ́run kan ló dá Nàìjíríà ọmọ èèyàn ló kó Nàìjíríà jọ. Ọlọ́run ló dá Hausa, Ọlọ́run ló dá Ìgbò, Ọlọ́run ló dá Yorùbá, Ọlọ́run ló dá ìjọ, tó fún each of them nílẹ̀ wọn, ní èdè wọn, ní culture wọn, and so on. Ọmọ èèyàn ló dé tó kó àwa yìí mọ́ra tó kó wa pọ̀. Artificial construct ní Nàìjíríà is not a natural growth. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká dì mọ́ Nàìjíríà pé dandan. Ká dì mọ́ dandan pé ìjà la máa fi túká blood and blood la máa fi túká. Ẹ má jẹ́ àṣẹ bẹ́ẹ̀ o. There is no need for it. Bá a bá ja ìjà yẹn tán àtúká náà ni. A ṣe kúkú yanjú ẹ̀ báyìí nígbà tá a ti ìjà. Tá a sì lè jókòó bí ọ̀gbẹ́ni kan ní north bó ṣe sọ. Let's gather on the negotiation table, share the kola, let every group go and take their own country and run their own country. Ẹ̀ǹgbà yẹn a lè máa ṣọ̀rẹ́ láàrin ara wa. Ṣùgbọ́n tá a bá lajú lẹ̀ tí president wa bá lajú lẹ̀ tó bá jẹ́ kí ìjà bẹ́ á ṣòro. Àwa tá a mọ ẹni tó ń ṣe president lẹ́ni tó jẹ́ ní tiwa tó jẹ́ ẹ̀gbọ́n wa àbí àbúrò wa àbí bàbá wa àwa ò fẹ́ kó jẹ́ ohun ẹ̀ náà wọ́n á gbé àkísà burúkú kọ́ for the rest of time pé ìgbà tiẹ̀ ní Nàìjíríà fọ́ká in blood and warfare. Ó bẹ́tà kó jẹ́ òun kan sọ nípa ẹ̀ wípé nígbà tó fẹ́ fọ́ òun lè ò jẹ́ kó fọ́ tó pé àwọn tó ní kọ́ńtì yẹn jọ tó ṣètò láàárín wọn ó hùwà ọmọlúwàbí ó fi hàn ibi tó ti wá ọmọlúwàbí làwa Yorùbá o. Nítorí náà mo kí yín o. Ṣé ẹ rí ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn ọmọ tí wọ́n kó jọ pé kán wá gba oúnjẹ ní Ìbàdàn tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n expect bí 5,000 children tí more than 20 or so children wá wá. Ìyà tó wà nílẹ̀ ìyà tó ń jẹ àwọn èèyàn wa ló fà á o. Òun ló fà á o. Irú ẹ̀ a gbọ́ pé irú ẹ̀ ti tún ṣẹlẹ̀ níbòmíràn nílẹ̀ Yorùbá lẹ́nu ọjọ́ mẹ́ta yìí lẹ́kọ̀ọ́. Irú ẹ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Abuja o. Irú ẹ̀ ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Anambra State o. Ìyà ń jẹ àwọn èèyàn o. Anybody bá kó kinní kan jọ síbi kan lẹ́nu pé òun fẹ́ pín kinní kan fáwọn ọmọdé gbogbo ọmọdé tó bá gbọ́ ìyá wọn kó lọ bẹ̀rẹ̀. Irú burúkú tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ń jọ yẹn á tún ṣẹlẹ̀. Àti débi tó jẹ́ pé families àwa dúró sẹ́ba títì báyìí níwájú ilé wọn nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ó tán máa bẹ̀bẹ̀ kán bá lè róúnjẹ jẹ o. A ò sọ pé president wa ló cause ẹ̀ o. Àwọn tó mọ̀ nípa president tiwa Tinubu tó jọmọ tiwa tó jẹ́ bàbá tiwa tó jẹ́ ẹ̀gbọ́n tiwa àbúrò tiwa yìí. A ò sọ pé òun ló cause ẹ̀ o. Ó tó di pé àti 1960 tá a ti gbàjọba ní Nàìjíríà ti ń lọlẹ̀ díẹ̀. But under Buhari gbogbo ẹ̀ wá kúkú wá olúkúrúmuṣu pátápátá. Ó wá dàrú pátápátá. Ẹ wò ó, young man kan lára àwọn ibi tí ọ̀rọ̀ corruption dé ni mo sọ àgbẹ̀ Buhari Emefiele wọ́n fi ṣe gómìnà Central Bank. Ẹ wo orú iye owó tó kù nígbà tó lóun fẹ́ ṣe president níjọ́ tó ra more than 1,000 car tó tó lọ bẹ́yìn olóòtú ìrówó owó tó jí ní Central Bank. Then lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí ọ̀rọ̀ Buhari lọ báyìí tí Tinubu di president náà wá bẹ̀ sí sọ pé wọ́n ṣe oúnjẹ jẹ́ òun rẹ́dì láti surrender 4.1 trillion naira. Èèyàn kan ṣoṣo jí 4.1 trillion naira. Ó nira o. Ẹni tó ń lànà fún wọn tó ń bá wọn kó nìyẹn o lónìí. Àwọn tó ń ṣèjọba gan-an ń kọ́ tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n ń kó àwọn ló ń kówó gan-an. Kí ni tí wọ́n ṣe lè tó àwòmọ́ o? Àwọn Fúlàní ń lérí báyìí pé àwọn lẹ́ẹ̀kan ìjà àwọn lówó tó máa fi jà wọ́n ibi tó owó náà ti wá nìwọ̀n yẹn o. So anybody nǹkan tí president ti wà yìí ń try láti ṣe kò lè ṣeé ṣe o. Omi kékeré là ń rẹ́ lásì o. Omi kékeré àwọn bàbá wa ló ń powó yẹn àwọn ìyá wa láyé àtijọ́ omi kékeré omi díẹ̀ là ń rẹ́ lásì. Obìnrin ilé kankan ò ní lọ kó lọ dúró sétí òkun o kó máa rẹ́ lásì bẹ́ẹ̀ kó máa sọ pé òun fẹ́ ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà ó ti kọjá nǹkan tí ẹnìkan kan lè tún ṣe o. Àwa Yorùbá ṣáàdẹ̀ ń sọ bí eléyìí kì í ṣe pé I hate anybody. I hate anybody. Even àwọn Fúlàní tó wá ń pa wá tó ń ṣe ẹ̀ṣẹ́ ẹgbọ́ even the National Bureau of Statistics sọ wípé lẹ́nu ìgbà tí president wa ti di president ní May 2023 until the end of April 2024, 64,000 Nigerians have been killed. 64,000 plus Nigerians have been killed. Lára wọn 15,000 were people killed in the Yoruba Southwest. 15,000. About a month ago, ládédé gbọ́ pé àwọn terrorist group kan ti tún wọ ìlú o, wọ́n ní wọ́n pẹ̀lú àwọn ní Lakurawas, wọ́n wọlé láti Sokoto. Ara àwọn tán lé kúrò ní Niger àti Burkina Faso. Wọ́n para àwọn pọ̀ tán ní wọ́n jẹ́ Lakurawas náà. Wọ́n ní àwọn ará Nàìjíríà ló invite wọn kán máa bọ̀. Láàárín ọ̀sẹ̀ kan wọ́n ti run over the whole of Sokoto state. Want to blow up Niger State. Then the large military base over the Niger State. Wọ́n gbà á lọ́wọ́ army Nigeria. Wọ́n gbà á lọ́wọ́ army Nigeria. Eléyìí tá a tún wá gbọ́ níjẹta ó tẹ̀ tún wá pa báyìí. Àwọn Boko Haram ní North East. Pẹ̀lú àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ wọn tó ti Syria àti Iraq wá àwọn ISIS tó ń pera wọn ní ISWAP wọ́n parapọ̀ wọ́n destroy a Nigeria military base and killed scores of Nigerian soldiers and destroyed the whole place. Níjẹta àbí jẹrin. Ogun ń bọ̀ Nàìjíríà o, Ọlọ́run ò ní jẹ́ kó ogun yẹn ò ní dé o, ò ní dé ńgbà tiwa o. À ń bẹ president wa kó jọ kó jẹ́ ká yẹn bẹ. Kò sí pé ìlú kan pín òkè ń sórí burúkú o. It's not a tragedy at all. That a country breaks up, it's not a tragedy. Ṣé bí ó break up ni kì í ṣe pé àwọn tó wà ń bẹ kú wọn fẹ́. Wọ́n pín àwọn kéékèèké ní 15 countries ló jáde lára Soviet Union 15 countries nígbà tí Soviet Union break up ní 1991 15 countries ló jáde ní. All the 15 countries are doing well fún àwọn ènìyàn wọn. The breaking up of a country is not a tragedy. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká àwa Nàìjíríà ká máa rò pé tragedy ni kò sí tragedy kankan tó wà níbẹ̀ o. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣètò ká jókòó nítọmọ tìyá ká gbà wípé kíní yìí ò ṣeé ṣe. Àwa ọmọ ènìyàn máa ń rò pé gbogbo nǹkan la lè ṣe kì í ṣe gbogbo nǹkan la lè ṣe o. Nǹkan mìíràn wà tó Ọlọ́run ò fẹ́ kó ṣeé ṣe. Tó jẹ́ pé tá a bá tẹrí mọ́ ogun àtọ̀tẹ̀ ló máa kẹ́yìn ẹ̀ o. Ọ̀rọ̀ Nàìjíríà ó clear pé Ọlọ́run ò fẹ́ kó ṣeé ṣe o. Ẹ jẹ́ ká tètè kúrò lẹ́nu ẹ̀ o. Ká bá lè máa ṣọ̀rẹ́ títí láéláé o. Mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá o. Irú eléyìí tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí àwọn ọmọ wa yẹn a ní rírú ẹ̀ mọ́ o. Bẹ̀rẹ̀ rántí pé about 2014 federal government yà announce wípé kí àwọn university graduates kan wá fún iṣẹ́ kan díẹ̀díẹ̀ tó wà. Àwọn ọmọdé ibi tán ti ń expect pé bí 2,000 3,000 máa wá 56,000 ló yọjú o. 56,000 in Abuja. And ibi tán ti ń struggle wípé kán tètè dọ́dọ̀ àwọn tó máa ṣe interview yẹn fún wọn. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ náà àwọn ọmọ wọ̀nyẹn ló kú o. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ló farapa tó ń gbé lọ hospital. Ẹ máa rántí ẹ má máa jẹ́ ká rò pé nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ yìí èyí nìkan ló lè ṣẹlẹ̀ sí wa o. Ó ṣẹlẹ̀ lánàá ó lè ṣẹlẹ̀ lọ́la o. Ẹni tí irú ẹ̀ ò bá tí ì ṣẹlẹ̀ sọ́mọ ẹ̀ kó máa dúpẹ́ o. Ọ̀pọ̀ sọ́mọ tí ò lè ṣẹlẹ̀ sí nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà o. Ẹ jẹ́ á ronú sọ̀rọ̀ wa dáadáa o. Ọlọ́run á fún ara ẹ̀ fún wa ní làákàyè ká fi wo nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ dáadáa. There is no point. Aláàfin àwọn Ìgbò for instance Almost every tribe náà sọ pé àwọn ìjọ àwọn ṣe kẹ́nẹ́ kan. And yet, a ní dandan wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ lò. Kí ni reason fún yẹn? What kind of behaviour is that? Fẹ́ wọn, lè jẹ́ kán ṣèjọba yín, ṣùgbọ́n nígbà pé kán lọ ṣèjọba tiwọn. Wow! Àwọn nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ ní Nàìjíríà Ọlọ́run ló yẹ o. Corruption tó dẹ̀ wà ní Nàìjíríà tí ẹnìkan bá rò pé a lè ìjọ kan bọ̀ tán máa pamọ́ tí a máa èrò ní kálukú ń pa o. The psycho-spiritual foundations of Nigeria has been destroyed by that corruption. Kò sí ibi tí Nàìjíríà ń lọ. Ẹ ṣé o, ó dàbọ̀, ó kí yín o. Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ ká ríru burúkú eléyìí tó ṣẹlẹ̀ ń Ìbàdàn, Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ ká rí mọ́ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ó dàbọ̀. Mo kí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá o.
A very good afternoon and welcome to Kiki Media Live. It is the Sunday, the 12th day of the month of January, as we continue to demand that Nigeria should break up so that we can be able to defend our territory and we can be able to protect millions of our people that are currently being endangered in the current state of Nigeria due to hunger, corruption, welfare, healthcare, education, and most importantly, the Fulani invasion into our territory. Welcome to the Sunday broadcast. Please do share the program and invite your friends and family to participate so that we can be able to all learn and engage. Mo kí ẹ̀yin tí ẹ ti wà lórí ìjókòó, mo kí gbogbo wa pé a kú Sunday, and we are grateful to be alive. And as we continue to remember our loved ones that have died and those that are still probably not yet known to have died, because many people that have traveled out of Nigeria are dead, especially as the report is coming out today that over 600 Nigerians are returned back from Libya. I again like to appreciate the Kiki Media family as our mother, our grandmother, Alhaja Kiki, one of the wife of the late Alhaji Majid Omotayo Kiki, was given a very befitting burial in America yesterday, while the prayer section continued in Oshodi in Lagos at the family house. We pray for the children and the grandchildren and the all family members of the Kiki for this very terrible loss. We love you, but we believe that the Creator loves you better. You have done your best under the humanity. And as we always say, that our mother, Alhaja Kiki, that died in America, died a very beautiful death, because as we all know, we are all on the earth for a purpose, and that purpose means serving humanity, which she did throughout her life. She did everything possibly best to serve humanity and give to those that are known as family members and those that are not family members. As she continued the journey to the other side, we pray for you, grandmother. We pray for you that those that you left behind will be strong enough to continue from the humanity that you have done. Alhaja Kiki, mommy, as we all call you, grandmom, and a beautiful one, one out of many that did everything to serve the family, both at home and the family in the diaspora and the community that she was engaged with in the United States of America. Like I said, that journey started yesterday as she has now been finally buried. As the event continued in Lagos State with more prayer session at the family house in Oshodi, on behalf of the family, Okikiola Koiki, Deji Koiki, Lekan Koiki, Taiwo Koiki, and likewise Kende Koiki and all other children, we are saying thank you very much to everyone that have sent their greetings and their condolences on behalf of the late Alhaja Taibat Koiki. And as today, the 12th of January 2025, we will continue to remember you and we will continue to do exactly what you love to do, giving back to humanity. Let's come back to the program as there's a lot to cover again today. The program will be in English and in Yoruba. And like I always say, please do not ever tell us to speak only Yoruba. And I mean it because I am also speaking to international community because we are now at the crossroad. The international community must know the purpose of reason why we are asking for Yoruba nation. And I want that message to also clear to them. And that is the reason why we are speaking in English. Not that speaking Yoruba is not the purpose alone, but we are engaging many international community, especially on this platform that follow us. Mokiwale Nkonsipe, a very good afternoon as you are all settling into the program. The topic is still exactly what it says. And the topic is that the Yorubas are worried about the attack coming on Chief Sunday Igboho frequently by the Fulanis. As the communique was released by Professor Akintoye some few days ago now, the Fulani wants to kill one of our sons because of his quest to self-determination. And it is entirely up to every one of us to make sure that that does not happen, that we continue to pray for Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho, that whatever the enemies are planning, whatever their ambition, whatever that they want to do on these our son must not happen. We must make sure that we pray for him. We must make sure that we do not allow the smallest ant to touch him. We must protect him with everything that we have. And we must shield him from the enemies that wants to make sure that Igboho will not be with us. And that is one of the reasons why our task and our role is not just to sit back, but to continue to engage our, especially those of us that are diaspora, our member of parliament, our senators, our representatives, that the Yoruba will be coming out again for our quest and our right. And we are making this known in advance as people that do not want violence, that our rally will be out before the end of March. Date I don't have at the moment. But there will be more communication that will be coming out on such rally. How, the modality, and everything will be known. But it is important that we tell those international audience in advance that we do not want a situation that will be ugly between those that want the right to self-determination and the federal government to respect the law that indicate that Nigeria signs a treaty. And the treaty means that Nigeria must allow us to continue our quest and our demands to self-determination. So it is important that you do not just sit back and assume that the job is just for one person. Your letter can be the most strategic letter, your engagement, your participation to engage international community. That will solve a lot of the problem for Baba Akintoye and Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho. And if we do that, it means that we are already telling Nigerian government that the Yorubas are coming out on a full-scale rally before the end of March. And we expect them to protect us during the time that we will be coming out for these rallies. Not to shoot at us, not to intimidate, not to kill, not to maim, and not to scare us for the right to self-determination. Because it is clearly stated that even the Vice President, Shetima, at the last United Nations General Secretary in New York last year, September, made it known that the self-determination is an inalienable right, and that right will be respected by the international community towards the Palestinian people. And that also means that the Yorubas that are also asking for a right to self-determination, that right will be respected by Shetima, the Vice President, and President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to enable us to participate and engage our Yorubas at home that are already in the taste for freedom to self-determination. And these are the reason why every one of us must continue to speak in whatever communication that we can do before the D-Day will be announced. Before the day that millions of us will be expected to be out on the street of Lagos, Ogun State, Oyo State, Osun State, Ekiti State, Kwara State, Kogi State, Ondo State, across all the states that the Yorubas reside. Our demand is not to tell those that still want to be in Nigeria, in the northern part, not to be. But our demands are that those of us that want to exit Nigeria must be given the right and all the right to do so without any form of intimidation. And that is the reason why we would expect every sons and daughters of Yorubas to prepare their mind that this coming out of ours is not going to be just a day outing. It will be until our demands are met. And that demand is a roundtable discussion, a plebiscite, a referendum that would allow the Yoruba people to exit Nigeria as quickly as possible and form our own independent country and our own government. We are speaking also to all our kings across Yoruba land. We are telling them in advance that our demands are not yet being met. And that means that we will be coming out for our demands, and we expect them to be in support of our demands. They are the custodian of the stool. And we hope and pray, as we are now also been given a new Alaafin of Oyo, Kabiesi, that all our requests to this fraudulent 1914 amalgamation must end without bloodshed, must end to allow the Yoruba people that were once an independent nations, independent country, independent people to do exactly what we were good at before the 1914 fraudulent amalgamation that was put together not to favor the Yoruba people or all the indigenous people, but to only favor those that are running business entity under the Royal British Niger as at the time. And these and many more is the reason why our preparation from county to county, from local government to local government is very, very important. It's not just about Igboho. It's not about Koiki Media or the rest of those that are campaigners or Baba Akintoye. It's about every one of us to put our differences aside so that our demands can be met simultaneously, so that we can leave Nigeria and we can go and prepare to fix all the damages and the problems that Nigeria has created on our life for the last 64 years. Our differences must be set aside, and our unity is the most valuable at this particular time. The Yorubas are very intelligent people, and the Yorubas knows exactly what they want. Our professor and our leader has stated clearly that we will not back down, and our request must be listened to, otherwise we're going nowhere. And that means that the push for self-determination will be much more bigger than what it used to be in the last 3.5 years of this movement. Our coming out means a lot to us, and we expect every one of us to prepare in whatever ways we can without you asking what do we need to do. You must tell those that are not aware, from your churches to your mosque, to all your traditional institutions, to every member of the university within the Southwest, to every market women, market men, to all associations, from the Nigerian Bar Association to every group, to the banks, that the Yorubas are coming out. And this time around, we are fully coming out. We are fully coming out. There will be more communication from all other medias, and our leader that will be making a special announcement very soon, as we all expect that to happen. But while we are waiting for that to happen, on this platform, Koiki Media, we will continue to remind you that the only option on the table for us is that our demand must be met. And that demand is that the Yoruba do not want to have anything to do with Nigeria again. We want to go out of Nigeria and keep our land. We will be good neighbors to our other countries. We will continue to have good relationship with international community. But let everybody be no doubt that this is going to come easy. And that is the reason why we are preparing everybody's mind ahead. We have done fantastically well in the last outing of our movement, from state to state, demanding our right to self-determination. We have held rallies in London. We have held rallies in America. We have held rallies across the globe. We have done a lot, and we are still engaging. And that engagement will continue until our demands are met. But as the rally gets closer, let us remind ourselves that we are not asking other indigenous people that wants to live with us. If they want to keep Nigeria, they have every right to go out of our territory and keep Nigeria. But our territory that remains in Yoruba land must be respected, for the self-determination. We can no longer live in fear of the Fulani terrorists, according to the Tribune that came out some few days ago. And what is the headline talking about? That one of the states in southwest part of Nigeria, known as Osun State, now have what we call Boko Haram enclaves, and Boko Harams are ready to kill, maim, and attack. Are we all going to sit back and do nothing until this becomes a terrible situation? Boko Haram suspect arrested in Osun State, and they are now being given 60 days detention. Fear of terrorism grips Southwest. These are some of the headlines coming out of Nigeria today. And I don't think that many of us would like to live in a country where our life has become where we can no longer protect it. And these are the reasons why we are saying again that we want to leave Nigeria for fear of terrorism that has created by ISWAP and many other of these terrorists across Southwest today. And if we are not going to act now, we might one day never even have a country called Yoruba in Nigeria, because these individuals are not going to back down. These individuals will continue to push until their demands will be met. But we must stop their demands now before it is too late. If we do not stop their demand, every single one of us will pay the price of keeping quiet. Every single one of us will pay the price of allowing Fulani terrorists to completely take over our lives. As we are going to read quickly from the Nigerian Tribune of these terrorists that have taken over almost every part of the Southwest today, it is clear that their vision and mission is becoming clearer on a daily basis. After listening to this, we'll be reading more from the article. You're watching and you're listening to Kiki Media, bringing the world closer to your doorsteps. Let's listen to this.
Which is it for you, Dr. Obadiah? Do you think the government is unwilling or unable to protect the people of Southern Kaduna?
In fact, it is not only unable, it is unwilling, and we have good reason to feel that they are part and parcel of the killers. Let me make some revelations to you.
That's a very big allegation, Dr. Obadiah. The government is part and parcel of the killers.
Yes.
That's big.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. How would the government just say, oh, it is revenge killing and so on? Then you leave it there. Oh, because it is revenge killing and so on and so forth. The body language of this administration, the body language of the state government shows clearly that they have a hand in the killings. No doubt about it. Because, you see, General Abacha, and people don't give him his due. Do you think you would have tolerated such nonsense? And let me make some revelations, because some of us also have our own intelligence networks.
Okay.
Have met with some of the bandits. We have met with some of their high commanders. One or two who have repented. They have sat down with us, not once, not twice. They told us that one of the northern governors is the commander of Boko Haram in Nigeria. Boko Haram and the bandits are one and the same thing. They have a sophisticated network. During this lockdown, their planes were moving up and down as though there was no lockdown. Moving ammunitions, moving logistics, moving money, and distributing them in different parts of the country. They're already in the south, in the rainforest of the south. They're everywhere. They told us that when they finish these rural killings, they will move to phase 2. The phase 2 is they will go into the urban cities, going from house to house, killing prominent people. I can tell you, this is the game plan. By 2022, they want to start a civil war in Nigeria.
Let's read quickly from the Nigerian Tribune that came out just yesterday, 11th January 2025. Fear of terrorism grips Southwest. Court remand 10 for planning Boko Haram cell in Osun State. You heard it very well. Fear of terrorism grips Southwest. Court remand 10 for planning Boko Haram cell in Osun State. A week after the Oyo State Governor, Mr. Seyi Makinde, raised alarm that terrorists from the northwest were relocating to Oyo State, 10 suspected Boko Haram members were arraigned in an Abuja court on Friday for planning to set up a cell of Boko Haram and ISWAP in Osun State. The arraignment of the suspect all from the north has heightening tension across southwest states. According to security sources, Ijesha area in Osun State, Oke-Ogun in Oyo State, Ondo Akoko axis of Ondo State are areas of interest. A federal high court sitting in Abuja on Friday, the 10th of January 2025, gave the State Security Service, SSS, the go-ahead to detain the 10 suspected terrorists who had planned to launch a Boko Haram and ISWAP cell in Osun State for 60 days pending the conclusion of investigation. Justice Emeka White, in a ruling on an ex parte motion moved by the counsel for the SSS, Y.I. Umar, held that the application was meritorious and accordingly granted. An order is hereby made enabling the State Security Service, aka DSS, applicant to detain the respondent for 60 days pending the conclusion of investigation. The judge ruled and adjourned the matter till March 3rd, 2025. The DSS had in the motion ex parte mark FHC ABJ CS 1942 V 2024 listed Adamu Abubakar aka Abu Aisha, Babagana Bashilu, Muhammad Adam, Mustafa Abacha, Katuru Muhammad, Babakuru Malam Abacha, Muhammad Shiroma, Ali Gambo, Muhammad Umoru, Muhammad Bundi as the first to the 10 respondents respectively. These are the terrorist names. The DSS in the motion filed on December 20, 2024 sought one prayer. The DSS in the affidavit disposed by Yamuju Banyi, a personnel of the agency attached to the Legal Service Department of the National Headquarters, averred that the terrorist suspects were arrested in Ilesha East, local government area of Osun State, adding that they were arrested on December 16, 2024, upon reasonable suspicion of their involvement in terrorism. The security outfit said preliminary investigation revealed that the respondents were members of Boko Haram and ISWAP terrorist group. Intelligence at the disposal of the applicant revealed that the respondents of these individual 10 terrorists were planning to launch a Boko Haram and ISWAP cell in Osun State, Yoruba land. That the respondents were arrested while undergoing training on how to manufacture and detonate improvised explosive device, IDE bomb, the affidavit said. The agency alleged that the suspects were members of the late Abubakar Shekau terrorist group who escaped from Sambisa Forest to Osun State because of the series of onslaught being carried out by the Nigerian army against them. It is said the respondents, the terrorists, are aiding the applicant to unravel other members of the terrorist group who are still at large, and added that releasing the respondent, this terrorist, at this stage of the preliminary investigation would be detrimental to the applicant's effort to arrest other members of the terrorist group. The DSS said the activities of the respondent constitute potent threat to national security and the corporate existence of Nigeria, and that it is in the interest of justice and national security to grant this application. In a related development, Justice Iwet granted an order enabling the DSS to detain Ayomide Akintoye and Nuruddin Adesina for a period of 60 days pending the conclusion of investigation. The judge made the order after Umar, who appeared for the DSS, moved the motion, ex parte mark FHC ABJ CS 1933V 2024 to the effect. The matter was subsequently adjourned until March 2025 for mention. The DSS in the affidavit disposed to by Mercy Ebo averred that the Boko Haram suspects were all arrested on December 19, 2024 last year by the Service Tactical Team at Ajakpe Lane 3, Modakeke, Ife East local government area of Osun State. The agency said they were thereafter transferred to its headquarters over intelligence report from Foreign Intelligence Service. Take note of that. Foreign Intelligence Service linking them with a Moroccan terrorist. Yoruba, ẹ ti wọ wàhálà báyìí. Mo pariwo tó. Mo pa ariwo tó pẹ̀lú iṣẹ́ tí a gbé dání lórí ìkànnì yìí. Ẹ sọ pé ẹnu mi rùn. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ka èdè Yorùbá intercaton níwọ̀nba bí Ọlọ́run ṣe fún mi ní ọgbọ́n láti lè ka Yorùbá síta. Ní ẹ̀yin tí ẹ bá ń gbọ́ ohùn mi ní wákàtí láti iléeṣẹ́ Koiki Media, àwọn terrorists ti wọlé pátápátá báyìí, pátápátá wọ́n ti wọlé sí wa lára báyìí o. Wọ́n ní wọ́n bọ̀ wá pa gbogbo wa pátá, àtọmọdé àtàgbàlagbà, wọ́n ní wọ́n máa pa gbogbo wa ní o. Eléyìí ò kì í sọ pé mo ò gbọ́ tẹ́lẹ̀, o ti gbọ́ nísìn láti pépà tó ń pè ní Nigerian Tribune ló jáde ní àná 11th January 2025. Àkọlé in tí wọ́n kọ ni pé ẹ̀rù ti dé báyìí o ní gbogbo ibi tó ń pè ní South West nígbà tí ilé-ẹjọ́ ní àwọn 10 tí wọ́n ti ń pètò pé kó dá iléeṣẹ́ Boko Haram sílẹ̀ ní Osun State pé kó sì fi wọ́n sí inú detention nínú àhámọ́. Nígbà tí Ṣèyí Mákindé ìyẹn gómìnà Ọ̀yọ́ State tó pariwo síta tó kégbe síta pé ẹ gbà mí o, ẹ gbà mí o, ẹ gbà mí o, àwọn tó ń pè ní terrorist ISWAP Boko Haram tó wá láti north wọ́n ti relocate sí ìlú Ọ̀yọ́. Nígbà yẹn ni àtúwá tún gbọ́ nísìnyí pé àwọn 10 tí wọ́n ti ọwọ́ ti bà tí wọ́n jẹ́ ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ Boko Haram ni wọ́n ti gbé lọ sí kóòtù kan ní Àbújá nígbà tí wọ́n ní wọ́n ń pètò tó ti ń gbáradì láti dá iléeṣẹ́ Boko Haram àti ISWAP nílùú Ọ̀ṣun State láti fi ṣe jàǹbá láti fi pa aráàlú. Eléyìí ni àwọn tó jẹ́ DSS ni wọ́n wá ń jẹ́ kó yé wa pé àwọn tí wọ́n ń ṣiṣẹ́ ibi yìí, àwọn terrorists yìí, kò ń ṣe inú Ọ̀ṣun nìkan ló wà o, kódà gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ló ti wà ní wàhálà báyìí látara àwọn tí wọ́n ń pààyàn yìí. Wọ́n wá jẹ́ kó tún yé wa pé ní Ọ̀ṣun, Ọ̀yọ́, Oǹdó, gbogbo bẹ̀yẹn ni ó jẹ́ àwọn ibi tí wọ́n fẹ́ gbà wọlé láti wá ṣe jàǹbá fún ọmọ Yorùbá. Gẹ́gẹ́ bí in tí à ń kà lọ yìí, àwọn tó jẹ́ security sọ pé àdúgbò kan ní local government kan tó ń pè ní Ìjẹ̀ṣà area ní Ọ̀ṣun state, Òkè Ògùn ní Ọ̀yọ́ state àti Oǹdó Àkókó, gbogbo bẹ̀yẹn pátá ni àwọn tí wọ́n ń pè ní terrorist ni wọ́n fẹ́ máa dá iléeṣẹ́ sílẹ̀ síbẹ̀ láti fi ṣe jàǹbá, láti fi pa gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tó ń bẹ nínú àwọn ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Wọ́n wá ní ilé ẹjọ́ ní Àbújá, ìyẹn ní ọjọ́ Jímọ̀ ọjọ́ 10 oṣù àkọ́kọ́ ọdún 2025, ó sọ fáwọn tó ń pè ní DSS pé ẹ má tú àwọn ará bíi sílẹ̀ o, ẹ dè wọ́n mọ́lẹ̀ kí a tún fi gba ọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́nu wọn, nítorí pé in tó fẹ́ ṣe ni pé wọ́n fẹ́ lọ́ǹchì Boko Haram àti ISWAP, wọ́n fẹ́ dá ẹgbẹ́ yẹn sílẹ̀ ní Ọ̀ṣun state. Ó ní kó dè wọ́n mú fún 60 days kó tó gbé wọn padà wá sílé ẹjọ́ ní 3rd of March. Eléyìí náà ni a ti fi ń pariwo pé àwọn tí wọ́n fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ bí yìí, orúkọ wọn náà ló lọ báyìí o. Adamu Abubakar tí a mọ̀ sí aka Abu Aisha, Babagana Bashiru, Muhammadu Adam, Mustapha Abacha, Katuru Muhammad, Babakura Malam Abacha, Muhammad Shiramo Ali Gambo, Muhammad Umoru àti Muhammad Bondi. Àwọn mẹ́wàá yìí àtàwọn tó ti sá lọ ni wọ́n ń pètò pé àwọn máa pa gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá nígbà tí wọ́n ti ń dá ẹgbẹ́ Boko Haram àti ISWAP sílẹ̀. Eléyìí ni a fi ń kéde pé kò ń ṣe ènìyànṣẹ́ mú wọn, wọ́n ní wọ́n ti mú wọn láti last year December ọdún 2024 ni ọwọ́ ti bà wọ́n. Eléyìí la ṣe ń sọ fún àwọn èèyàn wa pé gẹ́gẹ́ bí a ṣe gbọ́, wọ́n ní àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ Abubakar Shekau, ìyẹn terrorist group tí wọ́n ti ń sá ní Sambisa forest, wọ́n wá relocate wá sí ìlú Ọ̀ṣun àti Ọ̀yọ́. Tó eléyìí náà ni ó ń wá láti iléeṣẹ́ wa tí a mọ̀ sí Koiki Media, bringing the world closer to your doorsteps. Let's come back to the discussion. Mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí. Now, I believe our eyes are getting clearer. All you bomb bastard Yorubas that are saying that what we are asking for is too much. And olórí burúkú, sọ́dí pàtí Fulani bá pa gbogbo wa, èèyàn máa lè tọ́ ẹni ṣoríire. Ẹ̀yin bomb bastard. That we are crying out every day that these people are coming. You kept saying that we should keep quiet and we should shut up. Now everybody has now witnessed that our life is now in danger. Apariwo títí. We cried out, we complained, yet rather than everybody to ask for Yoruba nation, you idiots all over the place, you are telling us that it is not time for Yoruba nation. We should continue with one Nigeria until Fulani will kill you and your father. Now, we come back to that because we have told you that they are coming. We warned you. Evidence pointed out that these Fulani terrorists, they have nothing to lose and they are going to do more harm to us. But because the Yorubas that are stupid, that wants to dine with these criminals, that wants to sit with them and laugh with them, think that Fulani are joking. Now, our eyes are getting clearer on a daily basis that what Igboho was fighting for is exactly the right thing for us to leave Nigeria. And as we know from evidence now that it is not just Igboho that wants Nigeria to break. According to these graph, as you can see there, 82% from Tunde Ednot that are Nigerians want Nigeria to break as quickly as possible. And likewise, 91% from 90% from Koiki Media survey produced on the 9th of January 2025 wants Nigeria to break. Are you now also still thinking that Nigeria should remain or Nigeria should break? We are now saying that we Yoruba, we are not a terrorist. Yoruba nation not going back. Thank you so much for those of you that are commenting. Mr. Oyewole Benga, Prince Adewumi, good afternoon to you. Bamdele Mohammed, good afternoon. Please, what you can do for us is just share the program and invite others to do so, because we are now at a crossroad and our life is now at threat. Baba Akintoye continued to say that we cannot be intimidated by the Fulani with Igboho telling them that we want to go out of Nigeria, while the Fulani continue to say, no, Igboho has no right to ask for the separation of Nigeria. The question is, who wants to live in a country where security, economy, difference of language, ideology, with those that wants to have a Sharia and all those that are going to create a lot of havoc for us today and in the near future? Olamilekan Okwe, good afternoon to you. Michael Oyadele, good afternoon to you. Alade Shakiru, good afternoon. Stephen Okwarako, good afternoon. Clement, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for the support. Adeshina, thank you. Biafra Inwa Uzo, Divide Nigeria Now. Brown Akinola, good afternoon to you. And to Omabolaji Abdullahi, good afternoon. Arole Odudua, good afternoon to you. And the rest of you that have joined, and those of you that will be joining us as we go into the program. This is the reason why Koiki Media has always stated that we need our voice to be out there continuously, because we are all now in danger. And this danger means that the more we sit in Nigeria, the more we are likely to be affected. Good afternoon to you, Ogumola Biodun. Shout out to those of you on the Twitter space. And a very good afternoon to you, our mother, Beauty Amokwe, Stephen Idowu, and Mr. Bayo Lowo, and many of you that have joined us on the Twitter live as well. Yoruba Nation is the solution. Balogun Olamide, thank you so much. Many of our mothers, and as we continue to meet them across, they are so happy. My first Sunday the Sunday this today, I was able to engage a mother of ours, Mama B. We met at Dustin, and during our meeting at Dustin, it was a very fruitful one, discussion, and also engagement. While we were heading out of our, where we were meeting for our discussion, and it was just a private, but again, a member of the Yoruba Nation as she is. We then left that particular location, and as we were walking on Dustin, I met with, I had, two elderly mother walking past, and I'm sure Mommy no Mari video, I'm sure, because she's a great Koiki Media fan, and I'm talking about every single one of them in that image. So these are our mothers that are, thank you so much, Jimmy Koya, for the super chat. Yoruba Nation is the only solution for us. Complete TV, Eshegoni Mokibubu Alenkonsi. Babami Sulaiman Yusuf, apart from the mother that died, that he changed his DP, it has always been myself and him on that DP for the last 3.5 years. Momolu Regan, Junior Mary, thank you so much. And the rest of you, Aki Obawa, T, what if Oba, we'll be coming to that. There's quite a lot to cover, and that's why we started early. Mojid Ibrahim. Let's come back to our Mama Watenri. They are all in their 70s. And some of them have spent the last 40 years plus in the United Kingdom. And you'll be asking why they're still in the UK, because they can't come back home. They do come back home frequently for probably greetings, events, but they have to return back to the UK. Kódà inti mo gbọ́ tí grandma nínú àwọn grandma tí ẹ̀rí tó wọ glasses yẹn tó wọ white top gear. Inti tí mo fi gbọ́ wọn ni pé wọ́n náà fẹ́ ra calling card, and mo ní ẹ̀ra tèmi náà mọ́, and normally Yoruba to Yoruba we stopped pleasantry akirawa wonoju mami look familiar. Ìyẹn mọ́mì wa tó wọ Mama B lolo glasses to the left hand side. Mama B has been in London for a very long time, working on different charity to support people back here, and mostly few back home as well. Asha, Mama Bini, look familiar. Now we always look familiar. Mukia Aziz, Badi Shere, only media, Bubo Media. Good morning to you from the other side. We are also praying for those in LA, and likewise as we pray for our Yoruba people that have been killed. So just to move swiftly, we stood there and we're engaging, and mommy to know that Towa Lanriwa within the three women. I know you look familiar, and straight away I said, this is Koiki. Hey, Koiki no ni, and they were so happy. And the one wearing the white even knew that we lost our family member in America, because when I gbọ́ pé mo ní ọ̀kan kú tó jẹ́ màmá wa kan ní grandma ní America, wọ́n ní gbogbo ẹ̀ làwọn wò, wọ́n náà máa ń ṣàìsùn ni, wọ́n náà máa ń wo gbogbo. She recognized these our mother that I said died, Alhaja Taibat Koiki, tí mo ní wọ́n kú tó ti sin wọ́n lánàá. So what am I trying to bring out from there? Nigeria. You can see these three women. Mama B lectured in the UK. She's a lecturer, yet she's still in the UK. She cannot transfer her experience back to you, Eitejoe Odo, ni Ile Yoruba. Imagine Tabagba Yoruba country. You will gain expertise from people like these women. But I also know that they have also paid their price of working here in the UK. They have served their time, and yet they can't return back home because there's no home to go back to. I have spent 25 years as well. In another 30 years, 40 years. So why pari mission now than leave it for the next generation? Because look, my children are not interested to fight anything. Just as well, Nigeria, they are not ready to fight, for anything. So our tawani, one particular age bracket from 30, 40, 50, 60, àwa ni la gbọ́dọ̀ ṣọwọ́ papọ̀ ká push láti gba Yorùbá nation. All these our mothers, àwọn ò ní irú strength láti náà fẹ́ jáde lọ títí mọ́jú pé tó bá pè fún rally nísìn wá jáde nínú òtútù. Tó bá pè fún rally wá lọ engage government UK. But don't expect them to come to Nigeria kó wá jáde fún rally. I don't think you should expect people like this. 3 of them are full Yoruba nation campaigners within their own little that they can do. And you can tell that wọ́n fẹ́ padà sílé kò jẹ́ kó wà ní UK mọ́. Even if they have to come to UK, I don't think they have to come for medical care if Nigeria was working. Because if Nigeria was truly working, they would not need to come and receive medical treatment here in the United Kingdom. They will receive their treatment in Nigeria. But because Nigeria doesn't have the medical to look after them, it doesn't have the good health care, it doesn't have the, the right enabling environment for them to live. Moke awa ri esi Iranmalade Olufemi Ola Silo Moki Ekabo Sori Koniwa. So why am I trying to say all this is that you might think that it's extremely cold today. Koda, mo ní láti double up. I had to double up. Teba won tí mo wọ̀ òun lélẹ̀. Layer kan lélẹ̀, singlet mi lélẹ̀. So this is one. Bí ṣe múra jáde nìyẹn. Mo dẹ̀ dé fìlà ni mo lè dérú eléyìí because òtútù yẹn ti pọ̀jù mo dé tó bò mí létí. Ẹ rí pé fìlà tí mo dé nìyẹn. So mo tún lo gloves sọ́wọ́. So why are we doing this is because we are tired of living in the European system. It's not good for us, but we have no choice. Tabani choice ni, we will not be here anymore. But we don't have choice because living here at Europe, at America, is to support many of our family back home. If Nigeria was a great place, industrialized, working, we will not have to worry about anybody. Anybody will not have to worry about nobody. But for the fact that Benny, Mr. Oluwole, òtútù tó tẹ̀ mú ní in the last couple of days is a terrible one. But I have to go and see Mama B. Because Mama B was meant to come for the rally and the dinner, but she couldn't make it. So we decided that, anytime she's available, I will go and see her. And that is what led me to go to Dustin. tó bá fi dídá mi gan mo tẹ̀ fi kúrò mo fi jáde nínú ilé mi rárá. So but kí ni mo fẹ́ fààyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé tá a bá wá ń pariwo a fẹ́ Yorùbá nation ẹ máa béèrè pé ó ṣe jẹ́ ìtẹ̀wà labroad ló mú lára ṣé àwọn mọ́mì mẹ́tẹ̀ẹ̀ta yìí in their 70s so yẹ kó sì wà ní UK kí ni wọ́n fẹ́ máa ṣe ní UK gbogbo wọn ló ti bímọ àwọn ọmọ wọn ti ń bímọ so all they need to come is to not come for medical treatment. If Nigeria was a great place, they should be receiving their treatment in Nigeria for free, just as they are receiving it for free here. Because I can tell you that every one of them are they pay 20 pounds. What lọ́wọ́ mama? Mommy wa grandma tó wọ white yẹn, tó dé fìlà white. They pay 20 pounds. Wọ́n fẹ́ lọ ra calling card ni láti fi pè wọ́n tó wà Nigeria. Wọ́n fẹ́ pè yàn kan Nigeria ni. Bí àwọn yẹn ò ní, bí àwọn tọ́nà sọ́bẹ̀ ní fóònù tó ní, bí àwọn fóònù tó ní WhatsApp. So, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní Nigeria, ẹ̀yin gangan ni the bulk of the work is with. Ẹ̀yin gangan ni ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ ṣiṣẹ́ tó pọ̀ jù. Tẹ́ bá dẹ̀ sọ pé ẹ fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ tó pọ̀ jù, it's okay. Ẹni tó wà labroad máa ṣe tó bá lè ṣe fún yín ni. But at some point, the next generation, and who are the next generation? Àwọn ọmọ táwa ń bí nísìn. Look, wọ́n fẹ́ wọ bàtà tó dáa, wọ́n fẹ́ lo aago tó dáa, wọ́n fẹ́ tètè ní mortgage, wọ́n fẹ́ ní mọ́tò tó dáa. So, wọn ò ní lè tọ́jú àwọn tó jẹ́ cousins wọn nílé àwọn tọ́jọ́ jẹ́ bí cousins because ọmọ àbúrò mi nísìn àtàwọn ọmọ tèmi wọn ò ní lè tọ́jú ara wọn because I'm expect pé kí Nigeria take care and I'm sure it goes with the whole family across the network as well. So tá a bá ń sọ pé a fẹ́ Yorùbá nation it is important that we take this Yorùbá nation quest as a serious matter kò ń ṣe pé ká gbé gbogbo heavy load yẹn lé Ìgbòho lórí àbí ká gbé lé bàbá Akíntóyè gbogbo wa la gbọ́dọ̀ pátá láti sọ pé a nígbà whatever it takes a gbọ́dọ̀ sọ pé a máa gbà we a nígbà ní ká máa sọ until our demands are met. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni dusting in London is like Oyinbo market. Kódà nínú ṣọ́ọ̀pù tá a tún wọ̀ àwọn tó ń kọjá lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo ṣáà ń gbọ́ Yorùbá lọ. Ṣé gbogbo wa la lè japa wá sí UK kò possible? Yes, percentage of us will be running out of Nigeria just as the report is coming out. I saw that report and let's give you that report in just about a few minutes. Once again, let us not take it as a joke. Gbogbo Southwest ti wà in trap. Gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ti wà in danger. Èmi kọ́ ni mo sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. So mo kí Mama B and Mama B was also able to speak to Igboho as I always, once in a while, especially when I'm, with some few, I can call Igboho on video call. That was a screenshot of Mama B, praying as all our mothers have done. Ton ṣàdúrà léraléra fún Igboho. Mo kí bàbá Mojí, mo kí lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí bàbá mi Sulaiman Yusuf, bàbá Túndé Ọláwálé, mo kí Mr. Adéwálé, Stephen Oparako, mo kí Pastor Mo. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n ní it is too cold àfi kí Ọlọ́run kí Ọlọ́run sọ àwọn ènìyàn wa kó sọ àwọn ènìyàn wa jí because you guys have to wake up. Àròlédè it was 7 degrees in the UK this morning. Ó freeze gan débi pé kò ṣe kékeré. Ó freeze gidi ni. Mo ò lè wọ thermal wear gan, mo láti wọ proper another cotton cardigan. Thermal wear gan ò lè ràn. So, but again, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń sọ pé ká shut up, wàhálà wa ti pọ̀ jù. Look, wàhálà wa ò pọ̀ jù. Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kí wàhálà wa pọ̀. Lórúkọ Jésù a máa gba Yorùbá nation. But kò ṣe pé ká kàn sọ pé lórúkọ Jésù. It is a work that has to be done by every single one of us. And kò dẹ̀ sí time. The longer tá a bá pẹ́ sí, the more la máa ráwọn èèyàn tó fẹ́ make this kind of journey. Ẹ wo news yìí nísìn. Mo ń bọ̀ ẹ jẹ́ gbé news yìí jáde. I love when I'm using my, my software. Okay? Libya deports 600 Nigerian in dangerous, traumatized Sahara journey. Many people want to japa, but not everybody will make it to the final destination. Yes, some of you will make it down there, but majority of you will not make it. And that is why we are saying that we must come and say enough is enough. And the evidence has pointed, as we saw in the survey. What is the survey? The survey is that the amalgamation has failed. It is a failed amalgamation. And I'm going to read what Kayode Emola sent to me, this morning. Motinika Omom, if you see no blog, So there's a lot of work we're doing. Mo bẹ̀ wá ẹ jọ̀ọ́, a ṣe ń sọ fún wa ẹ má ní Koiki kí ló dé tó yẹ pé ojoojúmọ́ ló ń sọ pé onídòwó. I need this money. We need it, please. We need it to, especially rally ló ń bọ̀ nísìnyí. There's a lot of things that we want to do as a media platform. And we need the media to be out ready when we're out again. But tá a bá rówó nísìn tá a fi prepare sórí ìgbà tá a bá ti wọnú rally lọ la máa need owó àbí àwọn nǹkan míì tá a ti fi máa ṣe lọ́bọ̀. Ìyẹn la ṣe ń bẹ̀ yín, ẹ ràn ilé iṣẹ́ yìí lọ́wọ́, ẹ fún wa ní gbogbo support yín tẹ́lẹ̀ fún wa right now, because we are making the push and that push will be successful. Without the push, it will be difficult. Now, ẹ ṣé gan ni Ṣẹ́gun Honorable. Let's start from here again. Sister Ellen sent this to me. This is what is happening in Kogi State. There is a lot of trouble in Yoruba land. Àwọn tó ń ṣe jàmbá yìí, they are not going anywhere and we must do everything to stop them. But the only thing we can do is, while we are in Nigeria, to continue to engage our government, our governors rather, to do the needful. Ẹ jẹ́ ká sáré ka rìpọ́ọ̀tì bó ṣe wá láti ibi tó ń pè ní Kogi State. It's a sad story and this many story will continue. George Olawale Mokinyi, Mokiye Iten darapọ̀ mọ́ wa náà on all the platforms across. We're not interested in the politics. All we want Nigeria to break, and it must break. And that, Nigeria is not as big as Soviet Union, and it will break, inshallah. But it's not going to break. It will break if everybody will play their role. And don't expect any future out of Nigeria. Don't let any 419 politician, Tinubu ni, Atiku ni, Peter Obi ni, even Omoyele Sowore, don't expect any one of them to tell you that Nigeria will be great. It's a fake country, and that country must go down. Now, let's read from this sad article coming again from Kogi State. The sad story of Sunday Ayedero was killed by Fulani terrorists in Kogi State. The sad story of Sunday Ayedero. Odo Akpe in Kaba, Bunu local government of Western Kogi State is a Yoruba town. It is a typical northern Yoruba land. Yoruba town dominated by Yoruba farmers, artisans, and quiet-going inhabitants. Over the last 10 years, as a result of incessant violence against the native Yoruba land, Yoruba population by terrorists, Fulani herdsmen, Tuaregs, and the land grabbers, about 1.5 of the peace-loving Yoruba land Yorubas have fled the area and the town. Wọ́n ní gbogbo wọn ti sá lọ pátápátá. And that means that gbogbo wọn ti sá lọ yẹn mean pé the land is now becoming the Yoruba, no longer owning it, but the Boko Haram has taken over the precious land. Is that what we are going to allow? While all our land are being taken away from us by the Fulani terrorists. This is the reason why we cannot longer continue in one Nigeria. Non-natives, led by Fulanis, have driven the farmers of the land. Wọ́n náà àwọn Fulani ti lé gbogbo àwọn àgbẹ̀ àwọn farmers tó wà lórí ilẹ̀ yẹn, wọ́n ti lé wọn lọ in certain areas and have recently established settlements which they have named Zamfara 1, Zamfara 2, Zamfara 3 nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ní Kaba. Wọ́n lé àwọn ọmọ nílẹ̀ lọ, àwọn tí wá create settlement, wọ́n wá ń pè ní Zamfara 1, Zamfara 2, Zamfara 3. The killing of unarmed farmers máa pa àgbẹ̀ tó wà armed continue. Ó sì ń lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ despite several attempts to achieve peaceful resolution. They achieve peaceful resolution with people that are fully armed and ready to kill. Recently, during this last holiday season, holiday tó ṣe lọ yìí, a group of 6 Fulani men dressed as Tuaregs. Mọ àwọn tó ń pè ní Tuaregs, àwọn tó máa ń bojú títí dé tó yẹ pé ẹyin ojú wọn nìkan lè máa rí. This is who they are. Àwọn ilé tó burú gan. So if you see them, ní rí wọn, wọ́n máa lo tọ̀báàní, wọ́n máa fi gbogbo ara wọn, and ojú wọn nìkan ló kàn máa show. These are the images I can show you on Facebook for those of you that are watching on YouTube. Èyí tẹ́ ń gbọ́ audio yẹn, mò ń ṣe àlàyé ẹ̀ kẹ́ lè bá mọ irú àwọn èèyàn tó jẹ́. Wọ́n máa ń bojú gan délẹ̀ ni. Àwọn ilé wicked gan, apàyàn ni wọ́n. Anyway, tó bá mú yàn máa pàyàn ni, àwọn ń dáríjì èèyàn. Ìyẹn la ṣe ń sọ fún èèyàn ọmọ Yorùbá pé this is not the time to joke with this movement. àtẹni tó nílá, àtẹni tó mọ̀, àtẹni tó mọ̀. We are all playing with fire. The longer we stay in Nigeria, these people will kill every single one of us, even if it's going to take them 1,000 years. Nigeria can no longer curtail them. They are coming in, they are coming in, they are coming in. And evidence are being portrayed that they are coming in. But it seems that many of us seems not to understand that they are coming in. Mo wà lórí live show, Alpha. Mo wà lórí program báyìí. Ẹ kú àtàárọ̀. But yeah, mo wà lórí live show nísìnyí, so mo wà lórí program nísìnyí, please. All right, later. Ẹ kú àtàárọ̀ yẹn. All right. So àbọ̀rọ̀ mọ̀ yé ní sẹ́mà bínú. So ẹni tó wà intelligent tó ń sọ pé Koiki shut up, ariwo yín ti pọ̀ jù. Well, I hope that one day wọ́n ní invade gbogbo akọ́pa gbogbo àdánù. But àwọn ò lè dúró kọ́pa gbogbo wa, ìyẹn làwọn ṣe ń pariwo nísìn. Ìyẹn la ṣe ń complain pé àwọn governors wa protect us. So àwọn tí à ń sọ yìí ẹ ti rójú wọn bó ṣe rí. They are evil. Evil làwọn eléyìí. Àwọn eléyìí tó yàtọ̀ sí Boko Haram. But it seems that many Yoruba people actually were too lenient. Ṣé lákàn máa sọ pé ṣèbí ìlú ló ti ń ṣẹlẹ̀? Ṣé Mr. Sunday tó pa yìí nísìn? Ṣé kò kí n ṣọmọ Yorùbá ni? Ṣé bọ́mọ Yorùbá ni? So let's continue. They are dressed as Tuaregs, spelled Tuaregs, with only their eyes exposed. Àwọn yẹn wọ́n máa ń bo gbogbo ara, ojú nìkan lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ máa rí, ẹyin ojú wọn nìkan lè máa rí inú aṣọ. They were exposed. Wọ́n lọ sí oko Mr. Sunday Ayédèrò. Firstly, Mr. Ayédèrò nílùú yìí kò tẹ̀lé máa ṣiṣẹ́ oko because ó wà physical challenge according to bí a ṣe gbọ́ report tó jáde tí wọ́n send sí wa láàárọ̀ yìí. Mr. Sunday Ayédèrò, after his wife and other children had completed their chorus. Kí ló ń pè ní chorus? Wọ́n parí iṣẹ́ àgbẹ̀ tó ń ṣe tán, wọ́n fẹ́ lọ plant iṣu for the next season. And yet, à ń pariwo fáwọn èèyàn pé we are all living in a very big danger. Chorus related to their planting of yam heaps. Mr. Sunday tó ti di late nísìn, ikú ti mú lọ báyìí, kọ́lọ̀ forí, ṣé bàbá máa ṣe náà nìyẹn, kọ́lọ̀ forí jì wọ́n. But àwọn tó ń pa wá, kí la máa ṣe fún wọn? Mr. Sunday, ẹ gbọ́ bíbá dáadáa, according to World Health Organization, anybody tó bá wà disabled pẹ̀lẹ́sẹ̀ kan, ó wà classified as ẹni tí universal standard of disability definition tó bá jẹ́ pé rúlù yìí ni Mr. Sunday wà ní, ó máa gbowó disability. Wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ máa fún ní anybody tó bá ń limp gan nílùú yìí, ó kàn lọ́ra ń limp, wọ́n máa fún ẹni disability. Kàmáì tí wàá sọ ẹni tó yẹ pé ó ní ẹsẹ̀ kan péré. Imagine, kò lọ jalè, kò ṣe yahoo, inú oko ẹ̀ ló lọ, àwọn Fulani dẹ̀ wá pa. I'm just trying to control my emotion now. Because I don't want to be talking to them ìyẹn lè máa blog, because each time I go like that ìyẹn lè máa fẹ́ blog. But one thing is, ẹni tó bá pa wá máa pa yín ni o. Ẹ gbọ́ mi dáadáa nísìn, Fúlàní tó bá pa wá máa pa yín ni, kò sọgbọ́n ẹ̀, a máa pa yín ni. But I will leave that for now. Mr. Sunday Ayédèrò is physically disabled with one leg, meeting the World Health Organization universal standard of disability definition. Ẹni tó bá ní ẹsẹ̀ kan, according to World Health Organization, wọ́n ti classify ẹni as a disabled person. Ẹ̀yin fẹ́ máa ṣe charity, máa fáwọn èèyàn tó gé lẹ́sẹ̀. À ń pariwo pé Yorùbá nation ló jẹ́ ọ̀nà àbáyọ. Ẹni ká dákẹ́, ẹni tó bá ní kí n dákẹ́ tó bá sọ̀rọ̀ sí èmi àti Igboho àti bàbá Akintoye, máa ṣépè fún ìdílé yín ni. Torí pé ẹni tó wà disabled yìí, number one, kò tẹ̀ jẹ́ kó lọ sínú oko rárá. Ohun àwọn àpò tó máa jẹ ni, in tó máa jẹ ló wá lọ jẹ nínú ọkọ ńbẹ, ìyẹn àwọn Fulani. Now, according to the World Health Organization, defines physical disability as a restriction or lack of ability. Ẹni tó lè perform ẹni tó wà able, èmi lọ́wọ́ méjì ní sinmi lẹ́sẹ̀ méjì, ó yàtọ̀ sẹ́ni tó ní ọwọ́ kan, ó yàtọ̀ sẹ́ni tó ní ẹsẹ̀ kan. Ẹ̀yin fẹ́ máa fún àwọn tó lọ́wọ́ kan yẹn, ẹ fẹ́ máa lọ fún wọn ní kan. À ń pariwo pé ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation gbogbo agbọ́dọ̀ mú lóko dúdú ni, ká sọ fún Tinubu pé kó pín Nàìjíríà. Tó ò bá pín Nàìjíríà, a máa ṣe gbogbo tó yẹ ká ṣe kí Nàìjíríà fi pín ni. And that is where coming out in rally. Ẹni máa kú, ẹni máa yè ló máa yè ni. Ẹni máa kú, ẹni máa yè ló máa yè láàrin gbogbo wa. Ẹni sóríire ìbọn bàṣà. Ó kù díẹ̀ fún gbogbo wa. Ẹ̀rọ péré là ń ṣe ni. Let's continue. Body structure or function aberration differences in body wọ́n ṣàlàyé mo kàn ń tẹ̀ láti ṣàlàyé gbogbo in tí wọ́n fi ń define ẹni tó bá wà disable àìmọye tó wà disable nínú Nàìjíríà lẹ́nu nísìn tí kò ní any government support kò ní any support from the government rather kí lẹ̀ ń ṣe fún wọn ẹ̀ ń intimidate wọn ẹ̀ ń sọ fún wọn pé kọ́ṣọ́tọ̀ pé kí ló máa ṣe sí but one thing is that ọlọ́jọ́ máa dé fún gbogbo wa a máa mọ in tó máa ṣẹlẹ̀ tá a bá ti bọ́ sórí ẹ̀wọ̀n ó kù díẹ̀ ni. Disabling environment such as physical social life ẹ jẹ́ ká fi gbogbo yẹn sílẹ̀ mo ti ṣàlàyé. Now this proud èèyàn gbọ́dọ̀ proud fún Mr. Sunday because even with his situation kò jókòó sínú ilé pé ẹ wá fóun lówó ní diaspora kò jókòó sínú ilé pé ẹ wá support òun ó jáde ó gbèrè jáde ó lọ ṣe tó ń ṣe nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ó lọ ṣe àgbẹ̀ tèmi tó bá ní iṣu tó pọ̀ àtàṣọ arán ìyàwó lọ sí market á lọ ra ọbẹ̀ arán ọmọ lọ sí school á ṣe gbogbo tẹ́gbẹ́ ń ṣe kò jókòó ti owó diaspora. Now this proud Yoruba man refused to be limited by his disability àìmọye tó ní disability náà nínú jẹ́ pé wọ́n wà limited wọ́n sì ń ṣiṣẹ́ lọ ó kàn jẹ́ pé oríṣiríṣi iṣẹ́ ló máa ń ṣe ni. Aided by his devoted wife ó níyàwó tó dáa ó wá kó àwọn ọmọ ẹ̀ wọ́n lọ sínú oko ṣé ìwọ lè mú ọmọ 5 years old tẹ́jọ́ ń gbé nínú ilé kó ní kó lọ máa ṣoko pẹ̀lú ẹ̀ ní abroad ṣó lè mú ọmọ 10 years old ọmọ 2 years old àwọn ọmọ tó kó lọ sínú oko nìyẹn nígbà tó jẹ́ pé àwọn tó lè help ẹ̀ nìyẹn. He served as the Secretary General to the local hunters. Ó tún jẹ́ ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ Secretary General fáwọn àwọn hunters. Àwọn hunters tẹ̀yìn olórí burúkú àwọn governor ẹ̀ fún wọn ní fund ẹ̀ fún wọn ní gbogbo support. Ẹ̀dẹ̀ náà ṣe governor lé wa lórí. Adẹ̀ ń sọ pé a fẹ́ Yorùbá nation. Ẹni ẹ̀ ní engage wa. Ó kù díẹ̀ nìbọn ró. Ẹni máa kú ló máa kú ni. Ẹni máa yè ló máa yè. Òun lọ̀rọ̀ tó wà ńlẹ̀. Ẹ̀yin dẹ̀ lẹ́ máa kú torí a máa fi gbogbo ẹ̀jẹ̀ yín la máa fi fọ gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá mọ́ láṣẹ Èdùmàrè. Ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ lọ múra fún rally ẹ lọ múra dáadáa no retreat no surrender bẹ́ẹ̀ fún wa ní demand wa ní kúrò lójú títì bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo sọ fún yín bẹ́ẹ̀ fún wa ní demand ẹni máa kú ẹni máa yè ni ẹ lọ múra dáadáa ẹni bá lè ṣògùn ẹ lọ ṣògùn sílẹ̀ àníṣọ́jú bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. On this very day his wife and children had set out to complete the preparation of the heaps ìyàwó àti àwọn ọmọ wọn múra sílẹ̀ pé ká lọ máa gbin iṣu sílẹ̀ ká lè rí èrè iṣu ká ọ ti pa Mr. Sunday Ayédèrò ní Kábà torí pé kò ń ṣe family ti àbí torí pé wọ́n ń gbé lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ oníkọ̀ọ̀kan ṣẹlẹ̀ àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ ó kù díẹ̀ ni Fúlàní máa pa púpọ̀ nu yín ẹ̀yin olórí burúkú tẹ máa ń sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn a bomb bastard. Now let's continue. This nígbà tó ti gbin iṣu tán this done is set out to effect the planting of the projection seeding which require him to move slowly and tó lẹ́sẹ̀ kan definitely surely èèyàn lẹ́sẹ̀ méjì kan sẹ̀ nínú òtútù gbogbo ìsàlẹ̀ á máa tutù ni torí inú òtútù títọ̀ bá ń gbọ̀n ẹ̀gan sẹ̀ gbogbo á máa tutù mọ́ ẹ lára ni kàmáì tí wàá sọ ẹni tó jẹ́ pé ó ní ẹsẹ̀ kan ẹ lè imagine ó máa move at a very slow pace yet kò dìbà rẹ̀ ó sì jáde pé òun fẹ́ ṣe iṣẹ́ kò jókòó sínú ilé. Ọwọ́n his elder son was waiting at the farm to assist his father. Bó ṣe ń ṣe láyé àtijọ́ náà nìyẹn. Bó ṣe yẹ káwọn ọmọ 10 years old ṣó yẹ kó wà nínú oko àbí kó máa prepare pé ó fẹ́ lọ sí school. Àwọn ọmọ tiẹ̀ nísìn ó kó wọn sí school àbí àwọn ọmọ ọlọ́mọ tó wà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá tá à ń sọ pé a fẹ́ fún ní education a fẹ́ support ẹni náà kò jẹ́ kó rí bẹ́ẹ̀. The son has so many children in the Western Kogi are well versed. Àwọn ọmọ yẹn ti gbà pé káwọn máa tẹ̀lé bàbá wọn lọ sóko. But kí ló wá ṣẹlẹ̀ ọjọ́ burúkú ọmọ 10 years old ó witness bó ṣe pa bàbá ẹ̀ òun ló wá ṣàlàyé fáwọn tó kù because òun ráyè sá lọ bọ̀ bàbá ò lè sá lọ wọ́n rán yin bàbá yẹn lóòótọ́ bọ̀ tìbọn ọ̀bá ẹ̀dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé tó bá yìnbọn fún yàn lóòótọ́ náà tó lè attack wọn padà definitely wọ́n máa ṣe nǹkan mí fún tí kò máa fi máa tó máa gún ẹni because definitely ọmọ Yorùbá ni bàbá yẹn gẹ́gẹ́ bá ṣe ka átíkù èmi ti kà tẹ́lẹ̀ wọ́n yìnbọn fún ìbọn yàn rán but nígbà tó wá rí pé wọ́n lẹ́yìn ọmọ Yorùbá máa ń nìkan lára ṣé ìbọn ló rùn ẹ́ nǹkan mi máa rùn ẹ́ kò dẹ̀ sí assistant òun nìkan ló wà ní oko ọmọ ẹ̀ ti sá lọ ọmọ ẹ̀ ló wá narrate nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ sí bàbá òun. Suddenly 6 armed men accosted his father and he took cover ọmọ ẹ̀ sá nígbà tó rí wọn as his son later described ọmọ ẹ̀ ló wá ń ṣàlàyé tó ṣẹlẹ̀ to the other hunters who I know very well ó ní wọ́n open AK-47 wà ní ọmọ 10 years old ọmọ tó ń pè ní AK-47 ṣé kò yàtọ̀ sí ìbọn tí bàbá ẹ̀ gbé dání tó jẹ́ ṣàkàbùlà. They attacked with AK-47 on him which had little effect wọ́n ní ó ní little effect because àwọn bàbá ẹ̀ nìkan lára. The 10-year-old son now described how he was unable to escape. Ìyẹn bàbá ò lè sá lọ due to his disability. And in no time, the Fulani, including 3 dressed in thorax grab. Àwọn tí mo sọ pé ọba múra tán, ojú wọn nìkan lè máa rí ẹ̀ní rí wọn, ẹ̀ní rí gbogbo ara wọn, lórí burúkú ni wọ́n, apààyàn dẹ̀ ni wọ́n. On this unfortunate brave man with cudgels. Kí ló ń pè ní cudgels? C-U-D-J-E-L-S. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ sáré wo kí ló ń pè bẹ́ẹ̀. Torí oríṣiríṣi weapon ló máa mú dání, lórí burúkú ni wọ́n. So ìtàn pè ní cudgel. Ìtàn pè ní a short thick stick. Wọ́n lagi mọ́ lórí. Òun ló ń pè báyìí. Ṣe rí wọn? Sórí. Ìwọ ọmọ Yorùbá náà. Sórí ìwọ ọ̀dẹ̀ wa máa bí mi pé Kóìkì òun wá bọn. No, gbogbo nǹkan la nídìí bọn. Kólókálukú lọ múra dáadáa. Sórí nǹkan táwọn ń lò. Bọ́ ṣe gbébọn dání náà wọ́n tún gbélé dání. Ẹ̀mú kan sọ fún ẹ torí ọ̀dẹ̀ nìyẹn. Torí òmùgọ̀ ló pọ̀nù púpọ̀ nu yín. Ṣé lè máa béèrè ẹjọ́ òfò ẹjọ́ ìranù. Ìntàbá lè fi defend ara wa la máa mú dání. Bọ̀ kò ń ṣe fún rally ni mò ń sọ. But against àwọn Fúlàní tó fi pa wá. Torí pé we must defend ourselves from this criminal. Ẹni máa kú ni mo sọ. But àwọn ló máa kú torí ikú kàn sí lọ́dọ̀ tiwa. Ilẹ̀ wa ni àwa lá nílẹ̀. Àwa lá nílẹ̀. And we must defend it until every part of Yoruba land is free. Torí pé tó bá ní pé kò free, òun láti ka paper fún ilé nǹkan tó lò sí ní máa tún jáde ní sílẹ̀ máa ní kí ni mo mean by that. Òun lọ sọ pé fear Ọ̀ṣun state èyí tẹ́ ń gbé lọ́ṣun ẹ má lọ múra dáadáa wá pa ṣéèkì sí gbogbo lára ṣé 10 lọ́nà mú mélòó lẹ́mọ̀ tó wà nínú Ọ̀ṣun state mélòó ló wà lọ́yọ̀ state. A sọ fún yín pé Fúlàní ti wọlé ẹ máa ní kí n ṣọ́tọ̀ ẹlẹ́nu mi rùn èyí bọ́n bastard ẹ̀yọ́ lórí burúkú ìyá máa jẹ gbogbo yín ni. Mo sọ fún yín pé ká tó délẹ̀ Yorùbá 1 million Yorùbá people ló máa kú àfi tá a bá fẹ́ jẹ́ kí nọ́mbà yẹn kó wà reduce. Nínú ìjọba Tinubu ìlàsán nísìn 15,000 Yoruba people ti kú 15,000 Buhari pa 29,000 àmọ́ mélòó ló máa kú kí Tinubu tó ṣe tán ìyẹn tá a bá gbà fún pé kó ṣe tán in the first place. Let's come back and complete this article quickly torí àsìkò because I still have a lot of areas to cover. Ìtawá gbọ́ ni pé wọ́n fi igi wọ́n nígbà tó ń yìnbọn fún tíbọn ràn nígbà tó ń yìnbọn fún tíbọn ràn wọ́n wà lágìmọ̀ lórí wọ́n ní wọ́n lo this unfortunate brave man with cudgel C-U-D-J-E-L-S àti mo tó ń pè ní cudgel ó dàbí gini wọ́n fọmọ lórí wọ́n fi nà án and beat him to death with his elder son watching from a concealed safe observation. A brave disabled hunter, the principal head winner and the head of the family of 7 is now another intergel in the hundreds of thousands of innocent Nigerians killed in cold blood by these terrorist Fulani àtàwọn thugs. We are yet to hear of one Yoruba farmer killing Fulani. Ṣáwa lè lọ sílẹ̀ wọn ká lọ máa pa wọ́n. Is that possible? And when we are talking, some of you idiots, ẹ̀yin olùṣọ́ lórí burúkú ẹ̀ máa sọ fún wa pé ká dákẹ́. Ẹ̀mí ní pé ìtàn sọ ti pọ̀ jù. Torí pé kí ni kò tí ì kan bàbá àti ìyá ẹ̀ tó bá yẹ pé olórí ẹbí yín lọ padànù nísìnyí wàá sọ pé ó ti pọ̀ jù àbí. The witness killing of Sunday Ayédèrò is one killing too much. It is a capital crime against a disabled person. Ẹni tó wà disabled wọ́n yọ ẹ̀mí kúrò lára ẹ̀. The Yoruba land youth and other youth in the vicinity from the Middle Belt and other groups have staged series of public protests and demonstrations since last week Saturday. Meanwhile, the 5 children and a nursing mother are now without their father. A victim of animalistic, senseless terrorism. This killing of a disabled farmer has become a rallying point for the cry of this being the last straw in this ongoing issue of lack of respect for public safety and the law in the western part of Kogi State and Kwara State by the Fulanis and the Tuaregs and other terrorists against farmers, and this time a hunter union executive officer. May the soul of the late Mr. Sunday Ayédèrò, RIP. One thing is certain, the hunters and the farmers are not going to allow this sort of wicked, irresponsible behavior to continue. Dr. John Mabayoje, hunter conservationist and commercial agricultural practitioner. Òun lẹ ti gbọ́ bí wọ́n ṣe pa Mr. Ayédèrò, ìyàwó àtàwọn ọmọ ènìyàn. And you can see now that their life has been turned upside down because of the selfish interest of ẹ̀yin olórí burúkú politicians, ẹ̀yin olè elite, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ dákẹ́ tẹ́ ẹ̀ sọ̀rọ̀ nígbà tí ọmọ Yorùbá ń pariwo pé wọ́n ń pa àwọn ẹ dákẹ́ ẹ sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ lo position yín láti fi stop this injustice ẹni kò kàn yín it's okay kọ́nà bá foríjì ẹni tó kú. Let's continue because I want to go to the next area. There's a lot to cover and it's still a Sunday. Ẹ má gbàgbé lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, we are still asking for your donation to help this channel so that we can continue to grow on a daily basis. Koiki Media bringing the world closer to your doorsteps. Now, as we continue, yesterday we saw the outing of Say No to Sharia in Yoruba land. It was a fantastic outing by Judge Akinola and the rest of the team that attended. Akigbogoyin, ẹ kú ìgbìyànjú, kò ní sú wa, kò ní rẹ̀ wá. Gbogbo eléyìí tí gbogbo wa ń ṣe yìí, à ń ṣe fún ìran wa ni, torí pé kí ni ìran Yorùbá kò gbọdọ̀ parun, ìran Yorùbá kò gbọdọ̀ parun, gbogbo wa gbọdọ̀ make gbogbo tó bá gbà. So mo kí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi tó bá dijọ́ Wednesday kẹ́tù pàdé wọn ní ìlú Ìbàdàn at the NUJ níbi tó ti máa ṣe more awareness. Mo kí Omeyo, the youth leader back home, and many of àwọn tó tẹ̀lé wọn làwọn ìyá wa, à ń sọ fún yín pé a ní ìdí mọ́tò ẹlòmíì àkọlù wọn láti lọ yá bọ́ọ̀sì lánàá ni. A ní àìtí ìmọ̀ tá à ń ṣe gan sef. Sometimes I just wonder tó bá yẹ pé fáwọn ní mọ́tò nísìn àná wọ́n wà delayed for many hours. Wọn ní mọ́tò kò sí bọ́ọ̀sì a ṣẹ̀ lọ yá bọ́ọ̀sì. I don't think we know what we are doing, but whatever it is n tó bá gbà náà la máa ṣe. A bẹ̀ wá lórí platform yìí alẹ́ ni tó ní owó but ẹ fẹ́ release owó yẹn. Wọ́n ṣẹ̀ lọ ń ya mọ́tò ẹ̀rí mọ́tò tó lò lánàá tó bá yẹ káwọn la ní mọ́tò ni ṣèbá tábà lóòótọ́ àpáàkẹ́ kò kúkú ṣe pé mo fẹ́ máa fi nájú ẹlẹ́gba afẹ́fẹ́ máa ná òkòkò máìkò ká nídìí mọ́tò kó fẹ́ fi ṣe nǹkan kó wà available irọ́ ẹ wo mọ́tò wọ́n ṣẹ̀ lọ ya mọ́tò lánàá. They were delayed. I was worried pé kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ kí ló dé tá tètè. Everything was delayed because logistic was not there. Judge Akinola ready láti ṣiṣẹ́, ìjáwá ready láti ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́, èmi fi mídíà ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́, ìtọ́lọ́run mi nìyẹn. Èmi mo mọ etí ó cost mi táwọn ọmọ mi fi tẹ̀lé wọn lọ lánàá. Tí bá ní wọ̀ tẹ̀lé wọn lọ kò sí nǹkan tó máa ṣe sí gbogbo yóò ní rí life kankan wò. But gbogbo bí ẹ̀rí lọ́dọ̀ àwọn ìmọ́lẹ̀ Yorùbá o. But yet ẹ sì ní pé as many voices ló ní láti tẹ̀lé wọn lọ, especially wọ́n lọ àmọ́ tó lè bá pàdé níbẹ̀. Gbogbo àná la ṣáà gbọ́ pé wọ́n ní say no to Sharia. Àbá wá sí bíbà a máa ní kẹ́ support wa, ẹ fún wa níràn lọ́wọ́, ẹ máa rò pé bí àkànfí ṣeré ni. Ẹ fún wa ní mọ́tò, ẹ fún wa ní this, ẹ fún wa ní that. Ká fi ṣiṣẹ́ Yorùbá tá bá dẹ̀ ṣe tán àdá padà fún yín kò sí nǹkan tó máa ṣe. But sometimes it seems that tá a bá pariwo báyìí bóyá kò ní ginger yín. So London lèmi kúkú wà, àwọn tó ní ìdẹ̀ ilé lọ́wọ́. Judge Akinola wọ́n struggle gan lánàá, logistic wọ́n struggle gidi tó ń ṣe kékeré. Àdéhùn à ń ṣe Yorùbá nation, à ń ṣe Yorùbá nation, àlè má náà ń ṣe Yorùbá nation. Yes, ìtọ́ lọ fún náà ṣe bí ọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation náà ṣe ni. Wàá dúpẹ́ fún ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Judge Akinola, kò ní sú yín kò ní rẹ̀ yín o. Ẹ kú iṣẹ́ takuntakun. We love you so much, and like I always say to every one of you, I will support with my media. Bẹ́ẹ̀ pè mí ní the last minute, I will make all effort. Mo dẹ̀ kí brother wa náà mọ̀ orúkọ brother wa tó gbé máìkì dání, ẹ má bínú. Mo kí àwọn ìyá tó tẹ̀ wọ́n lọ, mo kí gbogbo wọn pátápátá fún iṣẹ́ ribiribi tí wọ́n ṣe àti gbogbo àwọn tí a jọ ṣiṣẹ́ yìí kò easy rárá. So religious harmony is what we want in Yoruba land, but we say no to Sharia because Sharia is not what we want. So bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ti rí àwọn audio wa tá à ń ṣe purpose tá a fi ń ṣe àwọn audio ẹni pé wọ́n take time mi láti máa focus níbí báyìí mo tún record níbí báyìí. It's not easy. A ní kẹ́ lọ máa gbọ́ mix it loud gbọ́ ìyẹn audio version náà ni. I have to start recording to send it out. Gbogbo kíni náà it's not easy. It slows a lot of the job down, but what can we do? We just have to keep it going so that kí àwọn èèyàn lè gbọ́ tá à ń sọ náà la ṣe tún ṣe yẹn. Ẹni tó bá gbọ́ 30 minutes á dẹ̀ máa wá bí tó ti fẹ́ wo fídíò a lọ máa wá lórí social media, but tó bá gbọ́ the first 30 minutes a lè ṣe, a lè má pariwo lójoojúmọ́, a kò máa rù náà ní táìbá support wa, tẹ bá support wa náà la máa jẹ́ kí iṣẹ́ yẹn kó tètè tẹ̀síwájú. Mo kí ẹ Kentos Abẹ̀bí, mo kí Balógun Ṣẹ́gun. So now that is on that, we want to move swiftly. The war by Fulani led against Sunday Igboho needs to stop. Gbogbo àwọn tó ń attack Igboho, we must protect him like I always say. Gbogbo tó bá gbà la máa fi protect Igboho. Tó bá máa jẹ́ pé $1 million ló máa cost la máa fi protect ẹ̀ ni a máa protect ẹ̀. But nígbà tá a bá ní kẹ́ ran gbogbo movement lọ́wọ́, a gbọ́dọ̀ ràn lọ́wọ́ ni. We must not stop until tá a bá fi délẹ̀ lérí, a gbọ́dọ̀ protect Igboho ni. Torí pé bó ṣe wù wọ́n lọ́kàn ni pé kọ́ ẹ̀rí tán ní kú àwọn bomb bastard. A dẹ̀ dúpẹ́ fún gbogbo ẹ̀yin tí ẹ wà concern. A dẹ̀ ń bẹ àwọn medias wa náà because a lot of people are complaining about some of your headline. ẹlòmíì náà fẹ́ ní heart attack just listening and reading your headline. So mo bẹ̀ gbogbo àwọn media as well jọ ẹ bá wa adjust àwọn headline yẹn so that táwọn ìyá wa bá ń rí message tó relate mọ́ Ìgbòho kíkú má tẹ̀ pa wọ́n nígbà tí ikú gan tí ì pa Ìgbòho. Many people were calling me that kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ pé àwọn rí headline kan mo ní ṣe gbọ́ fídíò yẹn wọ́n náà wọ́n gbọ́ headline kan làwọn rí because the headline is different from the video. So we pray that most of our media we adhere to the rules of engagement. Yes, propaganda were important. Propaganda is part of the asking for any gbogbo olùlọ́lọ́ propaganda. Tony Blair kó wa lọ sí Iraq wọ́n lọ jagun rẹpẹtẹ America lọ sí Afghanistan 20 years lọ́lọ́ níbẹ̀ billions of dollars lọ́nà síbẹ̀ propaganda ni. So kò síbi tí kò ní sí propaganda. I love it. It's part of the it's part of the fight. But tó ń bá ti kan ọ̀rọ̀ Ìgbòho ikú ò pa Ìgbòho so kí là ń lo headline tó relate mọ́ nǹkan tó pa Ìgbòho ikú ò pa now. So I hope that most of our media will listen to that. Now eléyìí tẹ̀kọ́ mo kọ́kọ́ fẹ́ ká eléyìí tí Káyọ̀dé Mọ̀lá send sí mi. Though I'm still gonna do the audio. It took me almost about 25 minutes kémi gan tó kà. But most of our people are lazy. Ní kàtà bá send sí ẹ lọ sórí Koiki Media kẹ́ lọ kàǹkàn ní kà. So we have to translate it to audio. Káyọ̀dé Mọ̀lá sent this to me. Eléyìí gangan ni the problem of Nigeria. And it's not gonna take me, it's not gonna be a day job. Mo ní láti ṣàlàyé eléyìí dáadáa. But kò ń ṣe ni mo kàn fẹ́ fún yín ní just the brief of it. Èmi ti kà délẹ̀ ó pọ̀ gan. Bó ṣe amalgamate Nigeria òun ni gbogbo problem yìí article yìí. But how many people ló máa lọ kà á? Mo kẹ́ triple DRS. Mo kẹ́ ẹ̀ tẹ́ wà lórí ìjókòó. So what am I trying to explain here is that after reading this, I realized that tá a bá move tá kàn jókòó tatarata tá à ń dúró de àwọn governor, àwọn politician, àwọn ọba kó wá yanjú ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ yìí. Kò sí ìtọ́kàn wọn o. Bó ṣe máa ṣe party káàkiri bí ẹṣọ oníwòlé mọ̀ tó máa dágbádá kiri ni àwọn olórí burúkú gbogbo wọn báyẹn. Kò sí ìtọ́kàn any one of them. Àwọn fẹ́ jayé tó máa fi kú ni. Àwa la ní problem. So àwa ta ní problem yẹn, àwa ni ká lọ mọ ta fẹ́ ṣe. Ká tètè gbéra ńlẹ̀ ká lè tètè defend ilẹ̀ Yorùbá against this amalgamation proclamation. Mo kí Káyọ̀dé Mọ̀lá òun ló send article sí mi. So I'm going to read a little bit out of it. I don't know if I can cover the read up today. I think we should be able to do it. It might take time because I'm going to record it as well. But then from any time, I did not stretch me. So while we're going to do that, my call one can listen to Kifiloshi. So go to the quick on Mati Joko sorry listen. It might take time to fade the so money lati dide ki kokolo stretch me. So let us mo wa ti shetima link mo fe link OBS crash ni last before December so it mess me up gan mo le ti gbogbo settings mi ti wà disorganized gan mo fi play shetima moro tí mo sọ lẹ́ǹkan bo mo ti video yẹn wà so jẹ́ kí n lọ wá a particular video kan ká play. Alright, ẹ jẹ́ ká gbọ́ Mr. Kunle tó sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ẹni tó bá fẹ́ lọ ẹ jẹ́ kó lọ ẹ má yẹ kó dogun tí bá padà dé àwa continue níbi tí mo fẹ́ fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ amalgamation yìí mo bọ̀ lẹ́ǹkan sí.
If the Constitution maintains by Section 2 that Nigeria is one indissoluble nation and doesn't provide for means or procedure by which a people or a particular sector of the nation, a federating people, can choose to say at this particular point we want to have a nation of our own, and it doesn't provide for a peaceful means by which this can be guaranteed, there will always be frictions that will be leading to violence, killings, and bloodshed. And to avoid this, it is imperative that we look at that provision of Section 2 that says that Nigeria is one indissoluble, indestructible entity that doesn't make provision for the procedure by which a people can advance the right to self-determination. There have been many occasions where, on so many occasions we hear from the Arewa People's Congress or whatever agitating that yes, if Nigeria cannot work, they want to go on their own. The Biafra agitators are there. We have the Odua nation and what have you. If the Constitution provides for a procedure to determine peacefully whether a people can separate from Nigeria, you see that some of these agitations might be completely quenched. For instance, let me give you one. Tomorrow now, if we provide for referendum or plebiscite, these are political procedures for determining whether a nation or a nation in a country, because I want to take the definition of a nation here to mean the ethnic nationalities, maybe the Yoruba nation, the Igbo nation, the Arewa nation, or Ijo, Ibiobio, and what have you. Now, if a people can be entitled to right to call for plebiscite that can be supervised by international organs like the United Nations and what have you, it can be safely and easily determined that, okay, these people in this particular area has done in 1960, in 1959-60, if my recollection is right, with the people of the southern part of Cameroon, who formed part of Nigeria before, but when they decided that no, they wanted to be on their own, then a plebiscite was conducted, and they were able to have a separate nation of their own. If we say Nigeria is an indissoluble entity and will not tolerate any agitation by which people can determine whether they want to be on their own, definitely we are only calling for crisis on our own net. Tomorrow now, if you subject it to plebiscite, that okay, people of the Igbo nation should decide whether they want to be part of Nigeria or they want to have a nation of their own. You might find a situation that the majority may say they prefer to be in Nigeria rather than having a Biafra. And that will silence the people who are agitating. And if people who are agitating are in the majority by virtue of the plebiscite, why not allow such to just take place peacefully, so that there is no sense in remaining one single entity by force that may lead to bloodshed and what may even be characterized as genocide, because a situation where that is allowed, then we have descended below the level of humanity. So these are some of the provisions. Going to the political level, to some of the political angle that may require some intervention.
Welcome back. And that was a short break for me as well there to relax my leg and refresh and come back into the program. Let me appreciate some of you quickly before we go to the next stage. I really do. I keep telling you, leave these Igbo people alone. I really do. It's none of your problem if they have 5 states. So I don't know why we always have problems and issues with this Igbo. You told your problem to any quick face in Yoruba. We have no business with Igbo people, or about 10 states, or about 1 state. That is their own cup of tea, not ours. Keep telling you all the time, you're not listening. Moki Omobolaji Abdullahi, Triple DRS, Moki Nada, Moki Bubayi Yawa, Nibi Kibitating Bomini, Ubwa Baye. Are you silent listeners? Moki Moki and Dasi program, but and follow her back to back. Assure services for education and healthcare. Why are we still in Nigeria with Fulanis up to now? Fulanis don't give up. But on Europe, I give up. Fulani don't give up. 1,000 years. Chief Toladeni it is so. I have that video somewhere. Tabalogbo. Chief Toladeni it is so. Moke Yemi Fatoki, Moke brother me. So, and to support Tinubu, I support Tinubu, I want to be in Nigeria. So we Igbo face support Tinubu problem to one Yoruba no ma support Tinubu, so ẹ má blame Igbo kankan kó fẹ́ support Tinubu. Àwọn olè Yorùbá kan wà nísìn tá bá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí pín pop nísìn pop tí mi lọ jẹ sálẹ̀ nísìn tó yẹ pé inú ilé wa la ti ń dín ẹlòmíì ní sánmà ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí pín pop àti pure water àwọn wèrè wọ́n máa gba pop àti lọ dìbò fòkàn àwa ní ká mọ̀ tá fẹ́ ṣe. So ọ̀rọ̀ àwọn Igbo kan mi problem Igbo ni Igbo ìtó kàn mí ní bí Yorùbá ṣe máa kúrò ní Nàìjíríà. Sid Roof Adewale, this country is not helping any citizen. Could they help anybody? We are not recognized as a citizen or recognized we are going abroad. So we have no time to keep wasting our time in Nigeria. Let us wake up, and we hope we're going to wake up. Larry Lamina Moki Elenkosi, Moki Momsimi now, Moki Gbogbo Yoruba, Kolon Tubo Foriji Gbogbo àwọn òkú wa tó ti lọ. So, into ba won Igbo ni kò ṣe problem Igbo ni. Ṣé àwa fẹ́ dìbò fún Tinubu ni? How dìbò fún Tinubu now? So, okay, why are we worried about Tinubu? Bá ṣe fẹ́ kúrò ní Nigeria ni we ká máa worry, not about 2027. So, tó bá ń worry nípa 2027, á jẹ́ pé ẹ serious nípa Yoruba nation ni waste time ara yín. Because I am not more interested in 2027. I am more interested in bẹ́ẹ̀ orí Yoruba ṣe fẹ́ jáde as quickly as possible. So, and I don't want to sit here and be saying kò ní sí 2027 tó bá ṣe sọ fún yín náà ní 2023 tí ẹ tó lọ dìbò fún Tinubu. Problem àwọn tó dìbò nìyẹn. So, let's come back quickly so that I can prepare for the recording because eléyìí tí mo fẹ́ kà ní so ma take a bit of time. Mo kí ẹ Omobalaji. Mo kí ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí MixLR, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí Twitter space. Mo kí Mr. Ibrahim Olex. Please share my program, and if you have never attended to watch my live show, it's a privilege to have you here. We appreciate, we respect each and every one of you. Dẹ̀ fi àbùkù kàn yín. Àwọn tá à ń fa àbùkù kàn wọ́n mọra wọn. Àwọn olórí burúkú ọmọ Yorùbá là ń fa àbùkù kàn. Àwọn tí wọ́n sọ pé ká ṣì wà nù Nàìjíríà. Kan Nàìjíríà ò lè gbé anybody. Mo kí Kentos lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí. Mo kí gbogbo àwọn ẹgbẹ́ láti àwòrán ṣàṣà. Mo kí Ìfẹ́lódùn. Mo kí YSDM. Mo kí World Media. Mo kí Independent Media. Èmi náà dẹ̀ kíra mi. Now, let's move swiftly because of my time. Kiki Media bringing the world closer to your doorstep. 12th January 2025 from the studio here in London. Nigeria, Amalgamation Proclamation of 1914. Speech by the Governor General Frederick Lugard on the occasion of the declaration of the Constitution of the Colony and Protectorate of Nigeria. This was by Frederick Lugard on 1st of January 1914. You are all aware that His Majesty's government, after long and matured consideration, arrived some time ago at the conclusion that it will be to the great advantage of the countries known as Southern and Northern Nigeria that there should be amalgamated into the one government, conforming to one policy and mutually cooperating for moral and material advancement of Nigeria as a whole. This policy had been strongly advocated by Sir William McGregory, the former governor of Lagos State. Ojú ẹ̀ lélẹ̀ fẹ̀yìntì èyí tẹ́ ẹ pé Lugard nìkan la máa ń pinpoint sí. There are many of them. This was also one out of the many àwọn white people tí wọ́n wá jẹ gàba lé wa lórí ní ọjọ́ náà lọ́hùn. As the governor, also Sir Ralph Moore was the High Commissioner of the Southern Nigeria níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn. Again, Sir Ralph Moore, ojú ẹ̀ lélẹ̀ fẹ̀yìntì ẹ̀ mọ bójú wọn ṣe rí, àwọn òyìnbó tí wọ́n pinlẹ̀ Nigeria on behalf of the royal colony àbí the royal institution tó jẹ́ àwọn ọba ìlú yìí. So ìwọ tó fẹ́ Nigeria, I understand that you want Nigeria, but ṣé àwọn bàbá ńlá ẹ̀ ṣóyìnbó ni wọ́n? As High Commissioner of the Southern Nigeria and by myself as the High Commissioner of the Northern Nigeria, Lugard, as at the time, was the Governor General in the northern part of Nigeria, while Sir William McGregory was the Governor of Lagos State, while Sir Ralph Moore was the High Commissioner. So these are the three people, that have been advocating before Lugard now completed the vision of Nigeria in 1914. And I hope, that is clear and understandable to you all. He constructed the construction of the rivalry rails in the northern, and there was also the continuity advocated by another person called Sir Walter Egerton. Sir Walter Egerton, òun náà ó wà lára àwọn tí wọ́n pètò pé kí Nàìjíríà kó di Nàìjíríà. So these are the white olórí burúkú òyìnbó níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn tí wọ́n put all the pressure to make sure that they join us together. Pẹ̀lú àwọn tó ń pa yín lénìí nísìn. These are the people, these are their faces, these are the evils that were used against ìran Yorùbá. So tẹ́ bá ń rántí ojú wọn báyìí, máa rántí pé àwọn bàbá ńlá ẹ̀ tó fẹ́ parẹ́ lé lórí Nàìjíríà àwọn lélẹ̀ idiot all over the place. Construction of the rivalry rails in the northern and the southern Nigeria accentuate the necessity having a single railway policy with a single administration. So one pètò, because my analysis here as I read, because that will be much better than just reading it. So one pètò pé ká ní one single railway, ká ní one single policy yẹn ló fẹ́ pa gbogbo wa báyìí nísìnyí nínú Nàìjíríà òfò. single policy anything ni ó fẹ́ affect gbogbo wa tí a fi rí ṣe tí gbogbo wa fi jápa táwọn tó wà nílé tí gbogbo nǹkan work. All this single policy tí wọ́n fi sọ pé kọ́ lọ pè ní country kan, because tẹ́lẹ̀ it was all different policy lórúkálukú fi operate níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn until táwọn olórí burúkú mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin àbí mẹ́rẹ̀ẹ̀rin pẹ̀lú lugard tí wọ́n bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí move together until they now form what is called Nigeria. Lugard ló wá parí iṣẹ́ yẹn ní 1st of January 1914, but wọ́n ti ń pètò Nigeria as far back as 10 years before Lugard. 10 years before Lugard ni wọ́n ti mọ orúkọ tó máa pè ó, but they have been working towards pushing it together into one single single administration. Wọ́n fẹ́ sọ gbogbo ibi tí wọ́n control níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn, wọ́n fẹ́ sọ di ẹyọ kan instead of having it as separate, because kò pé wọn níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn having it as separate, especially ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ni wọ́n ti rí gbogbo owó tó ń lò. And ìwọ tí o wá ń sọ pé ká ṣì wà ní Nàìjíríà, I don't think you understand what you're talking about. Let's continue. Mr. Acott was pleased to select me, ìyẹn Lugard, to carry out this difficult task. Wọ́n mọ̀ pé it was a difficult task níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn, yet they went ahead and still created this entity tó ń pè lórí burúkú Nigeria. And he appointed me in the first instance as the governor. Níbi tó ti yọ ní tó ti mú ní as a governor nìyẹn tó fi ń pè ní Governor Frederick Lugard. Separately of the two distinct government of the northern and the southern Nigeria. It used to be separate until it was merged together under this fraudulent amalgamation. Now, with a view to informing myself of the local conditions and submitting to him my proposal for amalgamation. So Lugard ló ń ṣiṣẹ́ ní north, ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí di tí wọ́n fẹ́ join it together pẹ̀lú south. I had the honor to submit those proposals. Òun ti kú nísìn, proposal tó submit nísìn, òun ló ń ṣe jàǹbá fún ìwọ ọmọ Yorùbá tó ní ká dákẹ́. Proposal tó ṣe níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn, and this is prior before the 1914 amalgamation. Òun ló kọ̀ wá finish iṣẹ́ yẹn ni, because àwọn kan ló ti ń try to push Nigeria together as a one entity, as a single block, instead of Kodawa as it was nígbà tí wọ́n dé bá. Torí pé ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tá a ṣe mọ̀ has been existing thousands of years, yet ọmọ Yorùbá máa sọ fún wa pé ká shut up, ká save Nigeria. Bígbà tó yẹ pé Tinubu máa wà forever nínú ẹ̀. Let's continue. I had the honor to submit this proposal for his consideration on the 9th of May last. They were accepted in all essentials, and today they are to take effect. Today tó ń sọ yẹn was 1914 January 1st. After what he accepted, okay, eléyìí dà, ká mú Yorùbá àti Igbo àti Yorùbá àti Hausa ká jọ gbogbo ẹ̀ papọ̀. Ẹ̀yẹn náà dà, ká wá máa pè ní single block, so that ìnáwó táwa ń ṣe tó fi di pé ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ni á wà lójú kan. These are the problems tí wọ́n ṣe níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn tí ó sì ń di problems wa lọ́rùn. Tàdé sọ pé ká stop ẹ̀, tẹ́yìn sọ pé ìwọ mọ̀wé, ìwọ ní làákàyè, so làákàyè ló máa stop ẹ̀, àbí pé no làákàyè ló máa jẹ́ kó work. So ìwọ rò pé làákàyè tiẹ̀ ló máa jẹ́ kí Nàìjíríà kó work, ikú máa pa ẹ́ sínú ẹ̀ ni. Now let's continue. The colony and the protectorate of Nigeria will be placed under the control of a single officer. The colony and the protectorate of Nigeria will be placed under the control of single officer. Pé ká kúkú sọ de ẹyọkan náà, èyí tó wà yẹlẹyẹlẹ tó pín yẹlẹyẹlẹ káàkiri ká sọ de ẹyọkan, and that's exactly what they've done in 1914 amalgamation. And upon His Majesty has been pleased to confer the title of Governor General. So nígbà tó rí pé Lugard ló kúkú máa di Governor General, àwọn Majesty ní Buckingham Palace níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn wọ́n fàṣẹ sí, wọ́n endorse it, thus indicating the importance of this country among the crown colonies and protectorate of the empire. Wọ́n ní oríṣiríṣi colony káàkiri àgbáyé, but the one tó wà ní ọ̀dọ̀ tiwa yẹn was a special one for them, and this is the reason why we are still facing the obstacle as Yoruba people today. Let's continue. That portion which has Ito, being northern Nigeria, will be known in the future as the northern province. In Tonkwe, in northern Nigeria, will be known as northern province, while the protectorate of the southern Nigeria will be known as the southern province of Nigeria. Each will be under the immediate control of a lieutenant general responsible to the governor general. The colony, in the view of its separate status and traditions, will preserve a separate identity. A separate identity under an administration of its own dealing direct with the governor general. The present and the central headquarters will remain at Lagos, and the governor general will divide his time between the headquarters station of the northern and the southern province. Nígbà tó di pé gbogbo olè tó fẹ́ jà lọ ṣe move Lagos wọ́n gbé lọ sí Abuja. So ìwọ wá rò pé nísìnyí bí Tinubu ṣe wà níbẹ̀ àbí tó bá lo gbogbo ọdún mẹ́jọ ẹ̀tàn kí la tún máa ṣe àtúmọ̀ nọ́ọ̀sì Nàìjíríà orí ẹ̀ ò pé bomb bastard ọmọ àlè. His Majesty, through the Secretary of State, has been pleased to confer on me an honor of appointment as the Governor General. I am humbly hope that I may be enabled to discharge the function of this office. In tó ń sọ ni pé nígbà tí àṣẹ ti wá láti Palace ìyẹn ní England ní United Kingdom tó ti fún ni pé appointment ti wà lọ́dọ̀ tí ẹnìkan ìyẹn Lugard ó ní òun wá rò pé òun wà humbly hope. So ṣé hope tí Lugard ṣe yẹn ṣé ó sì ṣiṣẹ́ tì sí? Ṣé hope tí Lugard lò tó fi di pé wọ́n pè ní Nàìjíríà 1940? Are you still getting the hope? Hope 93 gan sef rí lò wọ́n pa Abíọ́lá mọ́ yín lọ́wọ́ ni. So what makes you think that the hope tí Lugard olórí burúkú tí kò rí fún wa ní 1914 òun àwa rí hope yẹn nísìn ọ̀dẹ̀ ọmọgọ̀ ọmọ Yorùbá ló gọ̀jù ẹ ti gọ̀jù òwò a ní Nàìjíríà ò ṣiṣẹ́ òun sọ pé hope sì máa wà níbẹ̀ ọ̀dẹ̀ dọ̀gànọ́s mùgùnmù àmọ́rú àwọn tó bí àwọn púpọ̀ nù yín gan sẹ̀ idiot all over the place bomb bastard ẹ̀yin olòṣì àní kájọ mú wọn léré kọ́ sá kúrò lórí ilẹ̀ wa ẹni ó sì máa da ẹnu tó máa da ẹ náà ní púpọ̀ nù yín kú sí idiot all over the place. To succeed mo kàn ń ká kíní mo dẹ̀ ń ṣàlàyé ẹ̀ lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ torí pé bó ṣe lè yẹ́lò mí nìyẹn tó ti máa ká gbùrùgbùrùgbùrù kò ní yẹ́lò mí so mo kàn ń ṣe analysis tèmi lé lórí ni. His Majesty approved and to the satisfaction and the contentment of His Majesty. Tó bá sọ pé Majesty láti Palace. Ṣé àwọn ọba tí wá lè pàṣẹ nísìn fún Ṣèyí Mákindé kó dá wọn lóhùn? Ṣé àwọn ọba lè pàṣẹ? Ṣé Ọọ̀ni of Ifẹ̀ lè pàṣẹ fún Adélékè kó dá lóhùn nísìn? Mò ń béèrè ni o. Ṣé kábíyèsí o Ọọ̀ni of Ifẹ̀ ṣé ó lè pàṣẹ fún Adélékè kó dá wọn lóhùn? Adélékè gẹ̀rẹ́ ọdún mẹ́jọ ló máa lò. Ọọ̀ni dẹ̀ máa wà ń bẹ̀ forever. Ìyẹn la ṣe ń sọ fún yín pé ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ ronú. Let's continue. To succeed in such a task, could they succeed? Because Nigeria ò ti succeed bá ṣe ń sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí. Títí di wákàtí, Nigeria has not succeed. So why are we trying to save something that is never going to succeed? Because a kò máa pariwo nínú ẹ̀, a máa ṣe analysis òfò nínú ẹ̀ ni, but it will never succeed. Why not allow it to dissolve and disintegrate so that kólúkálukú lọ́yún kó lọ dán mú yẹ́ mu? Wọ́n try láti obi tí mo kà dé má bínú, bẹ́ẹ̀ kí n máa highlight ẹ̀ ní so that mo ní miss. To succeed in such a task will be impossible. Ẹ̀gbọ́n kan táwọn náà sọ, to succeed in such a task will be impossible unless I have the goodwill and the cooperation of all classes. Àwọn wo ni classes? Àwọn ọba tó wà ń bẹ̀ àtàwọn tó wà ní jọ́nà lọ́hùn, official and unofficial, irrespective of race or creed. Irrespective of kí ló pè race, kí ló ń pè ní race? Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo race, kí ni meaning race? Kò ń ṣe pé yàn sáré o. Race, kí ló ń pè ní race? Race, mò ń bọ̀. Human race. Definition. Human race.
Human race.
Race is a categorization of humans based on sheer physical and social quality. Ọmọ àlè Yorùbá, ṣé wọ́n ní ṣé o ní quality pẹ̀lú ọmọ Fúlàní ni, ṣé ọmọ Fúlàní ni, ṣé ọmọ Ìgbò rí ni, ṣé ọmọ Haúsá rí ni, kí ló fẹ́ parẹ́ fún Nàìjíríà fún nígbà tó mú wọn rí? Why do you want to kill yourself for these people that you don't know? Human begin in general humankind. Àwa la wà humankind. Àwọn wèrè tá à ń bá gbé, they are not humankind. Ìyẹn ló ṣe pa bàbá wa tí a sọ fún ilé nǹkan tí wọ́n pa ìyẹn adé tó parí Kogi State. Now let's go further. Tá bá ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa human race. Race is a categorization of humans, àwọn ènìyàn, based on the sheer physical and social qualities into groups generally viewed as distinct. Ẹ̀yà tiwa yàtọ̀ distinct. Ọmọlúàbí tó bá rọmọ Yorùbá dọ̀bálẹ̀ tó ń ṣe olórí burúkú imam tó sọ pé wọ́n ní sóríire ìwọ imam yẹn bomb bastard ó ní àwọn kì í dọ̀bálẹ̀ ó sọ̀rọ̀ nísẹ̀yìn jágbàjàgbà jógbòjògbò mi ò ní táì gbogbo yín yẹn torí pé n tó máa dín pẹ̀lú gbogbo wa constitution ni nígbà tá a bá gbalẹ̀ Yorùbá. So tá a bá ń sọ pé èèyàn wa pé human race is ìran ẹ̀dá ẹ ṣé gan ni Bishop Adesina ìran ẹ̀dá ṣé ìran wa kò yàtọ̀ sí àwọn Fúlàní ṣé nígbà tí mo fi picture àwọn ilé wọ̀nyí nísìn àwọn tí mo fi wọ̀nyí àwọn dà ó yà pé mo ti close àwọn truga àbí kí ni mo pè wọ́n lẹ́ẹ̀kan yẹn ṣé àjọra no ìwọ náà wo picture yìí nísìn wo image yìí nísìn ṣé àjọra pẹ̀lú àwọn eléyìí ṣé tó bá sọ fún ẹ pé ọmọ Yorùbá lélẹ̀ nísìn ìwọ náà ní sọ pé Koiki orí ń ta ṣé lè jọ ọmọ Yorùbá tó bá sọ pé ọmọ Yorùbá lélẹ̀ ṣé ò ní sọ pé ọmọ Yorùbá kọ́ lélẹ̀ ṣé àyàtọ̀ sí ọmọ Ìgbò àyàtọ̀ sí Ìgbò àyàtọ̀ sí Haúsá kì í ṣe kankan náà àmọ́ra wa rí we don't know each other olúkálukú ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ni ẹ̀yà wọn ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ bó ṣe ń ṣe naming ceremony wo ó yàtọ̀ sí báwa ṣe ń ṣe tiwa bó ṣe ń ṣe ìyàwó yàtọ̀ sí báwa ṣe ń ṣe tiwa aṣọ tó máa wọ̀ yàtọ̀ sí aṣọ tiwa tó bá rí Yorùbá wa mọ̀ pé Yorùbá ló ń lọ yẹn a pàdé àwọn màmá wa ní Dustin lẹ́nìí a mọ̀ pé ọmọ Yorùbá ló ń lọ yẹn wọn ò ní láti ṣẹ̀ sọ fún wa a gbọ́ èdè tó ń sọ even though pé kan ní wọn ní Ilé Ifẹ̀ làwọn ti wá lọ́ṣun ìkejì náà wá láti Iléṣà èmi ọmọ Ògùn State that means pé we were still able to communicate in Dustin bomb bastard àwọn máa sọ fún wa pé ká dákẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ àfẹ́ Yorùbá nation ó fẹ́ Nàìjíríà olòṣì ọmọ àlè òun la ṣe ń sọ fún yín pé àwọn tó pè tó 1914 olórí burúkú ni wọ́n àwọn náà ti sọ pé to succeed láti ṣe àṣeyọrí àwọn máa nídìí gbogbo wa o kájọ fowó papọ̀ ní o kájọ lè jẹ́ káwọn lè succeed mo wá ń béèrè pé ta ló succeed nínú Nàìjíríà tó o bá ń ṣe ẹ̀yà Fúlàní ìkan náà màmá tí mo lọ bá lẹ́ni mama b wọ́n sọ̀rọ̀ Mariam Babangida fún mi wicked evil people all these people yes. Tell her to let you have the drink. Please. Pour it where? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna eat on my Banji program. I'm gonna fit on. Let's continue. To succeed, mo wá ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ wọn nísìn. Have we ever succeed in Nigeria in the last 64 years? In that to succeed, we have never succeed because we are different race. Òun náà làwọn sọ síbí báyìí. Ó ní to succeed in such a task tí Nàìjíríà máa fi ṣiṣẹ́ o will be impossible. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ kankan kẹgbẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. To succeed in such a task will be impossible unless àyàfi tí the goodwill and the cooperation of Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, àwọn ibi tí wọ́n ti já Fúlàní wá láàrin wọn àti àwọn ẹ̀yà tó kù tó dá àwọn ẹ̀yà dáadáa. To succeed, tàbá máa succeed o. Ọ̀rọ̀ tó ń sọ, this was before the amalgamation put together. Ó wá tún sọ̀rọ̀ nípa race or creed. C-R-E-E-D. Kí ni meaning ẹ̀? C-R-E-E-D. Creed. A system of religious belief. Ṣé di pé wọ́n mọ̀ dájú pé níjọ́ náà àwọn tó ń bìlífù nípa ẹ̀sìn alákatá à lè bá wọn ṣe. Yet wọ́n kó gbogbo àpapọ̀ wọ́n dà wá sínú ìgò wọ́n ní ká lọ máa gbé bẹ́ẹ̀ ká wá máa lọ máa ní peace. Ẹ wá ń wá peace. Báwo lè ṣe fẹ́ rí peace nínú ìlú tí religious system wá yàtọ̀? Kí ló ń pè ní creed? C-R-E-E-D. Charlie Romeo Echo Delta. Creed. A system of religious belief. A faith. Mo gbà fún Muslim, but mo ò fẹ́ Muslim máa wọ ṣòkòtò lábúlábú káàkiri. Mo ò fẹ́ Muslim Sharia. Mo ò fẹ́ Christian tó máa dictate báwo la ṣe lè ṣe. Mo ò fẹ́ ìṣẹ̀ṣe tí a máa mọ̀ pé tiwa ni tó dẹ̀ máa over sọ pé a lè ṣe nǹkan míì. No, olúkálùkù máa ṣe tiẹ̀ ni. But they know this as at the time they were putting Nigeria together. But for their own selfish interest, a creed can be a formal doctrine, a system of belief for a church or religious groups, or it can be a philosophy or a personal set of beliefs. Mo fẹ́ babaláwo ni mo fẹ́, èmi ò fẹ́ Christianity. Èmi fẹ́ Christianity. Nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, gbogbo yẹn was not a problem. but àti wá rí nísìnyí pé olórí burúkú ìmáàmù kan jáde nísìnyí ó ní òun ò lè dọ̀bálẹ̀ fọ́ba èmi ò mọ̀rọ̀ ọba táà ní gan sẹ̀ kọ́ ní kọ́ lọ bẹ́ orí ẹ̀ wá kọ́ gbé síwájú palace àwọn bá tẹ̀ tó bá jẹ́ pé rèmi lọ àwọn ọba tó ń bẹ̀ nísìnyí màá ní kọ́ lọ bẹ́ orí ìmáàmù yẹn wá kọ́ wá gbé wá síwájú palace ìmáàmù mi ò tún ní sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ mọ́ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá bomb bastard ẹ̀yin olùṣọ́ lórí burúkú ara problem táwọn olùṣì dá sílẹ̀ fún wa lọ́rùn nìyẹn àwọn ní àwọn wọ́n ní succeed àwọn gan succeed níjọ́ náà náà wọ́n ò rí succeed ṣé àwọn tó succeed àwa la máa wá succeed ẹ̀ àwọn yẹn ti kú nísìn Lugard ti kú nísìn gbogbo àwọn tẹ́yàn wò yìí ti kú gbogbo wọn pátápátá every one of them are dead. Sir Walter Egerton ó ti ṣe kíni Sir Walter Egerton was a British colony administrator who was the governor of Lagos State Colony from 1904 to 1906. It was not yet a Nigeria as at the time. Governor of the southern Nigeria from 1906 to 1912. Ó sì kọ́dún méjì tó máa ṣe that fraudulent amalgamation. Wọ́n bí ní 22nd of March 1947 ó kú ní age 89 wàhálà táwọn dá sílẹ̀ nísìn òun lè ní àtẹ́sí ìyanjú báyìí tó ní ká má yanjú ẹ̀. Mr. Adelawari, we are not succeeding. For example, Chinese are mining our gold and nobody is stopping them. They have their own hospital and police station in Nigeria. A jẹ́ pé orí gbogbo wa orí wa ò pé. Tàbá allow kí Chinese ní hospital tiwọn kọ́ ní police station tiwọn. That means pé wọ́n á máa fi ọlọ́pàá tiwọn arrest ọmọ Yorùbá. Tó bá yá gbogbo wa máa bọ́ sójú títì a máa bèrè ẹ̀tọ́ wa. Torí ọ̀rọ̀ Ìgbòho kọ́ lélẹ́yìn nìkan. Now ẹ jẹ́ ká tún lọ wo the next person tó ń pè ní Sir Ralph Moore. Gbogbo wọn ti kú nísìn wàhálà tó dá sílẹ̀ la ṣe yanjú báyìí. Sir Ralph Darren Rama Moore, KCMG, was the first High Commissioner of the British Southern Nigeria Protectorate. Wọ́n bí ní 31st of July 1860. Ó padà kú before eléyìí ò tẹ̀ rí amalgamation. Kò rí amalgamation but ó wà lára àwọn tó ń pètò fún amalgamation. He died on 14th of September 1909 at age 49. Ó dẹ̀ ti dá wàhálà sílẹ̀ before 49. Ọmọ àlè Yorùbá wọ́n sọ fún mi pé ká dákẹ́ ìwọ́dẹ̀ ti pé 50 plus. You are a bomb bastard. Àwọn ilé ìníjọ́ tó ń jà fún pé kí ìran wọn kó lọ overrun tiwa lọ́rùn. They were less than 40. Ó wá ń dúró kí bàbá àgbàlagbà wọn bá san àwọn olórí burúkú wọn bàbá òfò yẹn. Àwọn yẹn ló wá ń dúró dè kán wá yanjú ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀. Èmi àti ẹ lájọ máa yanjú ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ yìí. Ó ní ìdàgbàlagbà. Àgbàlagbà ta nídìí nìkan ni bàbá Akintoye tó sọ fún wa pé ọ̀nà àbáyọ ni pé kí gbogbo akákúrò ní Nàìjíríà òfò. I pity my people. Ẹ jẹ́ ká tún lọ wo the next person tó ń pè ní Sir William. Sir tó ń fún wọn yẹn nígbà tó ti ṣiṣẹ́ ibi ní Áfíríkà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ni wọ́n fún wọn ní Sir William McGregor. Sir William McGregor náà ó gba oríṣiríṣi was the Scottish colonial administrator who was the lieutenant governor of the British New Guinea, governor of Lagos Colony. Wọ́n bí ní 20th of October 1846. Òun tẹ̀ kú ní after tí wọ́n ti ṣe amalgamation yẹn ní 3rd of July 1919 at the age of 72. Àwọn ìyá tí mo bá ní London 72 wọ́n ti padà sí London wọ́n ti padà sílé. These are the people that they were using to destroy us. Àwọn tó lọ ṣiṣẹ́ fún ìjọba Majesty níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn nìyẹn. Àwọn tí wọ́n rán lọ nìyẹn tí wọ́n dẹ̀ sọ fún wa pé mò ń wá ibi tí a ti sọ̀rọ̀ lọ tó ní succeed. Ẹ má bínú sí mi. Ìyẹn mo sọ pé it will take a time to explain this because ọ̀rọ̀ tí mo kà níbí báyìí was the ibi tó ṣe pinlẹ̀ Yorùbá tó ṣe pin amalgamation ìlélẹ̀ àwọn gómọ̀ káwọn ò lè succeed yet wọ́n wá fẹ́ kémi àti ẹ ká lọ succeed àwọn gan succeed because wọ́n jẹ́ kó yé wa pé to succeed láti lè jẹ́ kí kíní kó work o àwọn máa nídìí gbogbo wa o àwọn máa nídìí gbogbo wa o torí pé tí gbogbo wa ò bá jẹ́ káwọn rí ṣe àwọn ò ní lè rí kankan ṣe mo wá ń béèrè pé ṣé ẹ̀yà Fúlàní jẹ́ ká rí kankan ṣe ṣé ẹ̀yà Ìgbò jẹ́ ká rí kankan ṣe ṣé ẹ̀yà tó kù jẹ́ kí ilẹ̀ Yorùbá rí kankan ṣe wọ́n kó wa lẹ́rú wọ́n sì ń kó wa lẹ́rú lọ báyìí and this is the reason why we must put a full stop to all this crime against Yoruba people but àwọn tó jẹ́ olóṣèlú wa ẹ má bínú I've lost plot of where that ibi tá a ti ń kà lọ lẹ́ǹkan yẹn mo fẹ́ mú láti bẹ̀yẹn padà. Mr. Court was to carry out the difficult task and the blah 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 da 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 to confer the title. The portion was Ito being northern da 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 ti kàbẹ̀yẹn. The colony separate tradition and preserve separate identity under the administration of dealing with direct governor. dáadáa ti kabẹ̀ yẹn. His Majesty Secretary conferred in me. Okay, dáa pé báyìí là ń kábọ̀ nísìn. Ẹ̀hẹ̀n lélẹ̀ race mo ti rí ibi tí mò ń kábọ̀. Àwọn náà mọ̀ pé àwọn lè succeed. Ẹ̀hẹ̀n ibi tá à ń kábọ̀ lélẹ̀ general ẹláìtẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. To succeed ẹ jẹ́ ká sì dúró síbẹ̀ yẹn. Mò ń béèrè pé have we ever succeed? Mr. Olatunde Koiki, which hope is that? Food talking about at this point in time. It is a big food that we still clamor for one Nigeria. What are we doing in this contraction? Ẹgbọ́n nǹkan táwọn náà sọ níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn, wọ́n need to succeed tá a bá máa ṣoríire pé kí Nàìjíríà kó wọ́kọ̀. Ẹ gbọ́dọ̀ lọ bára yín sọ̀rọ̀ àwọn wo classes, official and unofficial, irrespective of race or kí ni mo pè é creed. Àdètí lọ wá mínítì tó ń pè ní creed. Kí ló ń pè ní creed lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí i? Tá bá ní creed. Tá bá sọ pé a system of religious belief, a formal statement of Christian belief, especially the Apostle Creed of the Nicene Creed, C-R-E-E-D. Àwa ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ àwọn tóun náà ń béèrè lórí Google pé kí ló ń pè ní creed? A creed can be a formal doctrine. Àwọn ẹ̀sìn alákatá tí a ṣe ti gbọ́ nísìnyí pé ní Ọ̀ṣun state o àwọn Boko Haram ti set up sẹ́ẹ̀lì síbẹ̀. Wọ́n sọ Ọ̀ṣun di wọ́n fẹ́ set up mọ́ṣáláṣí ìjọba dẹ̀ set up mọ́ṣáláṣí lọ́lọ́pàá àwọn terrorists ló wà níbẹ̀. Ẹ wá gbọ́ nǹkan tó sọ ní Nigerian Tribune. Fear ìbẹ̀rù ó ti mú gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá báyìí o nígbà tí kóòtù ní kó rìmáàndì àwọn 10 tí wọ́n ń plan Boko Haram cell. Mo sọ fún yín pé sleeper cell pọ̀ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ẹni kì í ṣọ́tọ̀ pẹ́nu mi rùn. Ẹni mi àti Ìgbòho la fẹ́ dọ́gun sílẹ̀. Ǹjẹ́ ogun ò ti wọlé Yorùbá báyìí? Ǹjẹ́ àti wà ní problem? Ẹ jẹ́ ń ṣojú òpó. Ibi tí máa kàdé nìyẹn for now. How many minutes láti ṣe? 2 hours 22 minutes. Ẹ pè wọlé, ẹ wá bá wa sọ̀rọ̀. Ẹ lè fún wa lówó, ẹ fún wa ní owó. Máa sọ pé dey play. Ẹnu ẹ̀ ní gbogbo àjọ wa. Mọ́nẹ́mi ni máa fi mídíà tayé jẹ́. Ẹ máa gbọ́ by fire by force. Torí pé fẹ́ gbọ́ gbogbo ògùn tó ṣe fún yẹn. A máa tú kúrò lára yín ní 2025. Ẹ lọ máa múra sílẹ̀ fún rally. The number to call. Ẹ jẹ́ ká padà sórí full page mi, lórí screen mi. Ẹ jẹ́ ayọ̀ ilé kúrò. Ẹ pè wọlé. Ẹ wá bá wa sọ̀rọ̀. Ibi tẹ́ gbọ́dé yẹn nísìnyí náà wá bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí. Ẹ jẹ́ move kìíní sókè. Time yẹn sókè. On overshadow. Mo pè number yẹn right this time around. Ẹ support iléeṣẹ́ yìí. Ó bẹ̀ wá ní àṣàkọ. Kò bá jẹ́ £10 lẹ́ní. Kò bá jẹ́ 20,000. Èkì ètè bá ní ẹ fi ràn wá lọ́wọ́. Owó oúnjẹ kọ́ ni mò ń wá. Mo máa ń sọ. Owó oúnjẹ kọ́ làwa ń wá níbí báyìí. Ẹ pè sí orí program. Ẹ bá wa dá sí. Ẹ bá wa pè wọlé. Ẹ bá wa pè wọlé. Ibi tẹ́ gbọ́dé yẹn succeed. Ǹjẹ́ ṣé Nàìjíríà succeed láti ìgbà tó ti dá iléeṣẹ́ Nàìjíríà sílẹ̀? Has Nigeria succeed? Ṣé Nàìjíríà succeed? That is the question. Bá a tẹ̀ kàn mímọ̀, ibi tá a kà dé yẹn for now, ẹ lọ kà tó kù lórí Koiki International News. At least mo ti fún iná nálẹ̀. Wọ́n ní láti lè succeed o, a gbọ́dọ̀ respect religion ara wa. Ṣàwa respect religion. Ṣé Fulani respect religion nílẹ̀ Yorùbá? Ṣé Igbo respect wa? Ṣé Hausa respect wa? Àwọn wo la tó respect ara wa? Tẹ̀fíníkà wà together. They play. Ẹnu ẹni gbogbo àjọ wà. Lẹ́yìn 3 hours, máa end the program yìí. So bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ti pè ní sí tó bá ti di 3 hours, máa pa program yìí because I go more than 3 hours. So a ti fẹ̀fún ìtókù olúkàlùkù lọ máa múra sílẹ̀. So 2025 la wà. Mo sọ fún yín pé a ní ìdẹ́jọ́ tó pọ̀ this time around. Advantage of Yoruba as a country. Mo kí gbogbo èèyàn wa. Báwo ni Sunday ṣe ń lọ lọ́dọ̀ yín? Lọ́dọ̀ tiwa ó tutù yínrín ni. Wàláì. Tí bá sọ pé ó tutù páì. Àwọn ọmọ yẹn ti lọ tan ìtà díẹ̀ nísìn kí lè tẹ̀tù wọ́ọ̀mù díẹ̀. So mo kí gbogbo alẹ́ nǹkan sí pé àní ṣe lásán. Mo kí ìyá mi náà, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin bàbá wa, mo kí lẹ́ǹkan sí Mama B, mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ Koiki Media ní gbogbo ibi tẹ́tí. Ẹ wá jọ ọ́ you okay? iPad. It's 43%. You want it now? So ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ gba call tó ń bọ̀ kí agbọ́n tí wọ́n fẹ́ bá wa sọ. Hello caller, ẹ gbóhùn sókè. Ẹ gbóhùn sókè ẹni tó ń pè wá. ẹ ti wà lórí line à ń gbọ́ yín sà.
ẹ kú ètò.
ètò ni ẹ sà.
Àánú àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ṣe mí lọ́pọ̀lọpọ̀ nítorí àwọn olórí tí wọ́n ní lákòókò yìí àti wípé wọ́n máa ń sọ nǹkan wípé Bíbélì ló sọ wípé.
tí bá ṣáà ti connect mọ́ speaker ẹ ṣáà máa sọ̀rọ̀ lọ ní ó ṣe ṣe kó nǹkan sometimes bá connect mọ́ speaker èèyàn ṣáà máa sọ̀rọ̀ la máa gbọ́ yín kó lè bá loud.
Okay. Bíbélì ló sọ wípé Ọlọ́run á máa yan olórí fún wọn gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìbọn ṣe rí. Ní apá kan màá máa wo bí àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá ṣe rí báwo ni wọ́n ṣe kí náà ṣe tán ṣe deserve irú àwọn olórí tí wọ́n ní wọ̀nyí tí wọn ò nífẹ̀ẹ́ wọ̀nyí. Lẹ́lẹ́kejì, going deep into their midst, èmi gan discover àwọn ìwà wọn, bí wọ́n ṣe rí fúnra ara wọn. So I now conclude alábàjọ tí wọ́n ṣe ní àwọn olórí tí wọn ò bìkítà fún wọn. Àwọn sleeper cells yìí wọ́n ti wà ní gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. And from May, June, wọ́n máa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí activate. Wọ́n ti activate díẹ̀díẹ̀ báyìí. Ó dà pé preamble ni wọ́n ṣì wà. Wọ́n ti fún ọ ní full load order. By May, June, oníkálukú máa sá kìjokìjo nínú ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ni. Èyí tí gọ́vnà Ọ̀yọ́ ṣe sọ wípé wọ́n wà nítòsí ilé òun, ẹ̀rù wọ́n fẹ́ jí gbé ń bà òun tán plan fún ju wọ́n fẹ́ jí gbé lọ. Gbogbo nǹkan táwọn ọmọ Yorùbá fi ń ṣera wọn ló pọ̀ because of our selfish purpose. Kí ló kàn sí wọn nígbà tí Chief Igboho dìde nílé? Kàn pé Igboho kàn ní kí ni a lè ṣe pẹ̀lú nǹkan tó rí bó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ tí ò dáa yìí. But àwọn dìtẹ̀ máa ń wọ̀n ta láti gbẹ̀mí ọmọ ìyá wọn ò care. Now àwọn tó ń so mọ́ tiwa gbèsè wọn dé wọ́n wá ń kígbe. Èmi ò ní rọ́ Chief Igboho kó wá sí Nàìjíríà o. Chief Igboho kò gbọ́dọ̀ tẹ Nàìjíríà yìí. A fẹ́ rí àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá tó jẹ́ wípé wọ́n á sunkún dáadáa, kámẹ́rà máa gbé, gbogbo ayé á gbé wípé àwọn ilẹ̀ Yorùbá sunkún ìyà jẹ wọ́n. Fúnra wọn wá máa dìde ogun sáwọn politician wọn. Tára tábà ti ń wọlé láti ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́, ó máa dá Chief Igboho láre. Láti wọlé without being opposed, without being criminalized, láti ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́ bó ṣe fẹ́ ṣe gangan. So these are the things. Tó bá ti ń wọ May, June, ilẹ̀ Yorùbá máa le gan, ó máa ti di ọ̀gbọ̀n. Ní ìjẹta ní abẹ́ bíríìjì lẹ́kọ̀ọ́, tí ẹ bá ń gba ọ̀nà tó ń lọ sí Lekki Street yẹn, tó bá yẹ bọ́lẹ̀ lórí Third Mainland Bridge kó tó di pé a máa nà gba Lekki Street. Gbogbo bẹ̀yẹn àwọn èèyàn máa ń ṣeré bẹ́ẹ̀, wọ́n ń play bọ́ọ̀lù bẹ́ẹ̀. Kíní ọjà wà nítòsí ibẹ̀. Àwọn èèyàn títí di 6, 7, 8 àwọn èèyàn rìn free kọjá ń bẹ̀. Around 7 níjẹta, àwọn èèyàn bíi 9 tó ń rìn kọjá, àwọn group Fulani jáde láti abẹ́ bíríìjì yẹn, wọ́n attack àwọn ọmọ, wọ́n ṣá àwọn èèyàn wẹ́lẹ́wẹ́lẹ́ ni, wọ́n ṣá wọn. And wọn lè káùntì èèyàn tó kú bíi 6 tán tó yẹ kán dẹ̀ gbé ara wọn lọ. Àwọn tó explain ní incident, àwọn 2 tó escape, ẹni ẹ̀ náà ojú ẹ̀ mọ́mú ẹ̀ báwọn ṣá ni. Ó dẹ̀ explain wípé òun struggle, òun gba ọ̀bẹ lára ìkànnù wọn, òun náà fi ṣe bí ẹni bọ́ ṣe ń ṣá, òun náà ń ya ẹlòmíì ó fi gbé run bí escape. Ló wá lọ explain. Now irú yẹn sìn tó bá dárúkọ Ìgbòho létí ẹ̀ á ní correct. but irú àwọn yẹn ló ní kí Igboho gbẹnu sọ̀hún like 1 year 2 years ago. Who is Igboho? Igboho fẹ́ dá wà kí ló ń bọ̀ wá ṣe dé Igboho fẹ́ dá wà lẹ̀. Now Igboho sí ń bímọ ń sìn náà wọ́n ẹ̀ṣẹ̀ wá rí wàhálà yẹn. So don't pity them much. We just have human feelings. So that's all. But wàhálà ti dé already. Wàhálà ti dé. And from May, June, it will surface, it will bloom. Things might gone down from May, June down to next year. Things might to civil war we eventually break out. So àwọn tá a mọ̀ pé à ń jìjàgbara àìrànlọ́wọ́ tí a fẹ́ ṣe láti dáàbò bora wa òun ni ká tẹra mọ́. Then àwọn a ní agbára láti dáàbò bo gbogbo ilẹ̀ wa without the support of the politicians àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá tó wà nípò agbára. Ṣùgbọ́n níwọ̀n ìgbà tí ojú wọn ò bá tí là á ò gbọ́dọ̀ a ò lè fọ́ọ̀sì ara wa lé wọn lọ́wọ́. Tójú wọn bá ti ń là tó bá gbé wọn ti ń gbé ọmọ politician wọn ti ń gbéyàwó politician wọn ń wọnú secretariat wọn ń gbé gómìnà gangan. Gbogbo wọn máa dìde. So that's it. So ẹ kú iṣẹ́ Ọlọ́run á ràn wá lọ́wọ́. Ọlọ́run á wà pẹ̀lú wa. So thank you very much.
That was the first caller. Lè pè wọlé number náà ló wà lórí fọ́nrán yín. Ẹ lè pè direct, ẹ lè pè lórí WhatsApp +44740404059117. Mr. Adejobi ni Yoruba Nation no going back. Kò ń ṣe bí tẹnu. No going back yẹn kò ń ṣe bí tẹnu. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ sọ́dọ̀ the next caller. Greetings. Shalom, my brother. Ẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ìkànnì wa. Ẹgbọ́n sókè. Ẹ bá gbóhùn sókè wọ̀nyẹn lọ́lẹ̀ brother mi ẹ bá increase volume mi lọ́dọ̀ yín lọ.
Okay, this thing can shut it loud.
Much better. Ẹ ṣé gan ni sir.
Okay, ẹ kú iṣẹ́ takuntakun. So, ṣẹ́kiri, gbogbo nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá, àsọtẹ́lẹ̀ ni ó láti ṣẹlẹ̀. Okay? Mímọ̀ gbogbo bá ṣe ń kígbe, bá ṣe everything bẹ́ẹ̀. Gbogbo nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀, ó láti ṣẹlẹ̀ because àsọtẹ́lẹ̀ Elédùmarè ni. Bẹ́ẹ̀ nǹkan wà bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé ibi tí wọ́n ní tí kò bá sí ṣòro. Okay, ní rí bá ṣe máa rí lọ síwájú. Because nǹkan tó fẹ́ ṣẹlẹ̀ sí tó jẹ́ pé Britain ló wà behind it. Okay, òun ní pé wọ́n fẹ́ rí mú Yorùbá sí ní oko ẹrú. Nǹkan tí Britain fẹ́ ṣe nìyẹn. Ìtorí ẹ̀ náà ti ra gbogbo Yorùbá leader. Okay? I think talking it 2-3 years ago. Wọ́n ti ra Yorùbá leaders, àwọn ọba, àwọn politicians. Okay? Wọ́n ti ra wọ́n. So, gbogbo àwọn nǹkan tó wá ṣẹlẹ̀ ń sìn ní pé ẹ̀wò wọ́n máa ń sọ sí pé Sharia, wọ́n fẹ́ practice Sharia law nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Because that is just only way the British will come in again because they don't talk about Christianity. Okay? Because Christianity and Islam, this is thesis and antithesis. Okay? Antagonist in Islam for Christianity. All this was created for a purpose, and that is the purpose that is going on today. So it's not a new thing. Then àwọn èèyàn wá kọ́ máa àwọn Arab àwọn kí ni wọ́n yà wọ́n the Britain ló wà behind everything. It is the British government that is behind everything, and Yorùbá ọmọ aládé náà fẹ́ mú lóko ẹrú. Okay? So wọ́n dá the power slowly killing us to the point that àwọn èèyàn wá. So gbogbo nǹkan tí wọ́n ṣe ń sìn ọwọ́ wa ló kù sí. Ọwọ́ wa ló kù sí pé aláàtì dìde láti jà any moment from now. Èyí tí Bishop sọ pé May, June, no. Okay? Because nísìn the British government wọ́n mọ nǹkan máa ṣẹlẹ̀ the Feast of Purim in the month of January or February. And wọ́n mọ̀ pé àsìkò yìí ní ìgbà tí Ọlọ́run tó gba àkóso àwọn ọmọ Israeli, àwọn Judah, àwọn Yorùbá in the ancient time. So ti ẹyin. So ìsìn wọ́n rà jẹ́jẹ́ ni. So àtàwọn bá jẹ́ pé àwọn tí wọ́n lead Yorùbá ni wọ́n mọ nǹkan tó ń ṣẹlẹ̀ àsìkò iná láti kọ́ bu òkú síta. So but àwọn èèyàn wọn kì í mọ nǹkan tó ń rí ní ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀. You know, they always see it on the surface, but they don't see it more in the spiritual aspect. Okay? Ibi tí Ọlọ́run fi hàn àwa nìyẹn táwa dẹ́ operate. And as we are breaking it, the British government is against me and my brother. That one you know it. And I will always say it to this very day. Okay? To this very day. They are going a negotiation with the British government with us every day, 24/7. People might think that okay, it might sound so foolish or stupid. Okay, but we give glory to Shahawa. We give glory to Eledumare. So, àwọn èèyàn wo mọ nǹkan tó fẹ́ ṣẹlẹ̀. Wọ́n kàn ní bá àwọn Fulani ló ń pa wọ́n, àwọn Fulani ló ń ṣá wọn pa. The British government ní gangan ló ń lo gbogbo àwọn people wọ̀nyí against our people. Not until our people stand up and stand against the British government in Nigeria. Stand against the oppression of the King of England in Nigeria, or especially in Yoruba land. And again, what is happening with Tamonepa? Who is behind the arrest of Tamonepa? Is it not the British government that they play it in a different way? The way they lock Nnamdi Kanu up, now they said they're interrogating Tamonepa. Okay? Then people they call about the Finnish government. Okay? What we don't know, what most people doesn't know, they are come from the same father. This is when we talk about phenotype. Phenotype and genotype is very important. So not until when we get the knowledge of those things, if the white man goes to Australia, to Africa, whether a British white man, Finnish, German, American white man, all of them will come together as one because they know they have the same motive. They know they are from the same father. They have the same phenotype. They have the same blood running on in their body. Okay? But it is we that we say, oh, people in Nigeria, look, you are saying you are Yoruba, you are Igbo, you are Hausa. But not knowing that, we all of us, we have the same phenotype. Even with people in Ghana. But we still they discriminate against ourselves. So, this is why we have to understand. Okay, phenotype is very important and the genotype. Okay, somebody, what is the blood group of the people in West Africa? We always have the same thing, excluding Fulani. Fulani is not our people. Blood type, Fulani out of the blood type is the majority of the other people in West Africa. So that is the genotype. So our Lanati must sit together, okay, to come against the oppression of the so-called white people against us. Okay? But they've already brought our leaders to the point that our leaders, okay, because of the 30 pound sterling of dollars, okay, the money that has no value, the money that has no collateral, okay, Nigerian currency has collateral is that more value than 30 pound sterling. Than the 30 what they call it dollars. Because they don't have collateral to back it up. Let them go and use their dollars or their pound sterling to go and print gold. Let them go and use it to create natural resources. They can't do it. We have everything. We have the power. It's right time we have to stand up and tell the white man, Chinese, my especially the British government, they have to get out of your balance. If they don't get out, it's going to be by war. You know what I said the other time? It's going to happen any moment from now. I won't say more than this. Thank you. Shalom.
Shalom. Well, brother mi, ó ti sọ tán pé ọba Louis tá bá ní irọ́ là ń pa gbogbo ọ̀nà la mọ̀ yẹn. Wọ́n wà against Yoruba people. Àti tó kú lánàá àti tó wà níbẹ̀ lénìí. Wọ́n nífẹ̀ẹ́ Yorùbá. But tó bá ń dó pé Ọọ̀ni of Ifẹ̀ ló máa yanjú ọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ yìí. Kábíyèsí ò ní yanjú ọ̀rọ̀ kankan nílẹ̀ o. Torí ni kábíyèsí dákẹ́ lọ́lọ́ ni. Bọ́n ṣe ń pa ọmọ Yorùbá. Wọ́n ṣe security summit. Àgbọ̀n kankan mọ́. Láti ìgbà tó ti ṣe security summit. Let's hope that the new Aláàfin bóyá àwọn arín kan ṣe sọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ yìí kó tó di pé Fúlàní máa pa gbogbo àtọ́ndélẹ̀. Nọ́mbà tẹ́ máa pè sí fún ọba díẹ̀ tó ṣì kù náà ní orí screen yẹn. I need just 20 minutes to go. After 20 minutes, a máa gbé ètò yẹn wálẹ̀. Ẹ jẹ́ ká return àwọn tó ti pè wá ká gbọ́ látọ̀dọ̀ tiwọn náà Moki Mr. Olatunde wọ́n ní, but what is the reaction of Mr. President? President ní president rò pé ní president ní Tinubu ń jayé ẹ̀ lọ ni ó wà ní Dubai nísìn àbí United Arab Emirates wọ́n ní event kan tó lọ ṣe níbẹ̀ kò sí tó kan Tinubu ẹ ló kọ́ ẹ bá gbó ètò ní ẹ bá gbóhùn sókè sà.
ẹ pé ètò
ètò ni ẹ sà.
ẹ pé ètò
à ń gbọ́ yín.
mo ní ọ̀rọ̀ ìtòsẹ̀lẹ̀ ńlẹ̀ Yorùbá gẹ́gẹ́ bí nǹkan tá a máa ń sọ iṣẹ́ gbogbo àwọn tẹ́lifíṣẹ́ àwọn ẹlẹ́sìn mùsùlùmí yẹn tí a gbé mo sọ̀rọ̀ kan níjọ́ kan ẹ lè gbàgbé ẹni tó sọ̀rọ̀ but mo ní iṣẹ́ táwọn gbà oríṣiríṣi iṣẹ́ tí gbogbo wọn gbà iṣẹ́ bàbá wọn tó ti ṣe sílẹ̀ nìyẹn gbogbo àwọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọn táwọn wò bóyá mùsùlùmí ọmọ Yorùbá ni wọ́n ń torúkọ wọ́n bá wa dórúkọ Yorùbá wọ́n ń ṣe Yorùbá àwọn ní wọ́n ti mọ̀ pé àsìkò báyìí máa dé níjọ́ kan pé àwọn máa attack so ti yẹ ẹ gbogbo nǹkan táwọn oníṣẹ́ ẹ̀ṣọ́ àkàtàkìtì yẹn ṣe gbogbo agbára yẹn ó ń bá ọ̀fun wa láti òkè wá ni pé wọ́n ẹdínwó wéré ẹni mufti níwò àmọ́ tó jẹ́ mufti nílẹ̀ Yorùbá èkejì àtìdí ẹ bó ṣe ń halẹ̀ kákákáká sípò ẹ̀ka àwọn gọ́ọ̀nà ti ṣẹ́ lórí ẹ̀ ṣé wọn ò rí ni gbogbo nǹkan tó ń ṣe náà ń rí gbogbo nǹkan tó ń ṣe àwọn gọ́ọ̀nà yẹn wọ́n mọ̀ ń pa gbogbo ẹ̀ tó ń dákẹ́ bí pé wọ́n rí gbogbo ẹ̀ náà mọ̀ ń pa ewu ẹ̀ but tí gbogbo kí ni ẹ bá fẹ́ máa bá rí wọn lórí máa ń ṣàwọn mọ̀ pọ̀rọ̀ ni ẹ bá bọ̀ àwọn gọ́ọ̀nà yẹn kán ti pé wọn gbọ́ gbogbo ẹ̀ náà gbọ́ but wọ́n mọ̀ pé kò lè kà wọ́n tó bá délẹ̀ tó bá fẹ́ ṣe dàgbà àwọn máa fi kí àwọn máa ya dànù aráàlú yóò forí ko aráàlú yóò jẹ́ kankan lójú wọn àwọn aráàlú tó ń pọn wọn lé ni mo rí bá rí inú kò rí wọn bá mo rí àwọn blame mọ́ because gbogbo tí wọ́n ṣe ń tẹ́wọ́ wèrè tó fẹ́ wá sí ìdí ìkejì olúwo ẹ wo bó ti máa ń ranjú ẹ wò tẹ́ ti rí ìwà gbogbo wọn ẹ máa rí nísìn gbogbo wọn ẹsẹ̀ tí wọ́n gbà nìyẹn gbogbo wọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wọn èé ṣe Yorùbá kí ni túmọ̀ wà sí rí orúkọ wo ló ń jẹ́ wá sí inú kọlẹ̀ Yorùbá gbogbo wọn ẹ̀ ṣe Yorùbá aláàfin yẹn wọn ò fẹ́ kí kíní yẹn bọ́ sí ẹ kó ṣe gbógun gbogbo wọn ká kọ́ńtínú kà máa sọ́kà pé àwọn tí wọ́n wá ń wò tán wọ̀ because wọn ò lè dáṣẹ́ yẹn ṣe láì sí ìfàmọ́ra ọmọ Yorùbá àwọn tí wọ́n wá ń wọnú wọn lọ́mọ Yorùbá tí wọ́n jọ ń support wọn láwọn pé kan gidi ni wọ́n gbé wá wọn mọ̀ pé tí wọ́n bá lò wọ́n tán wọ́n máa fi wọ́n ṣe use and dump ni Fúlàní ò lè dáṣẹ́ ṣe wọ́n máa lo ẹni ọmọ tó jẹ́ ọmọ bíbí ìlú yẹn wọ́n á kọ́kọ́ fà mọ́ra dípé kankan náà ni wọ́n jọ ń ṣe ìyẹn náà máa lò ìyẹn náà máa kùtù síwájú náà máa fi ṣe dábàá lò yẹn tán lójú yẹn wá mọ̀ pé àbáwọn ètò àbáyé òun jẹ ni kò sí ìyọpọ̀ ọ̀nàpọ̀ wọn kí a máa sọ pé àwọn ò lè dọ̀bálẹ̀ kò sí nínú ẹ̀sìn àwọn mòrìkíní àbí in fact àwọn èèyàn kò jẹ́ kí èèyàn mọ̀ sí èèyàn fẹ́ sọ ṣùgbọ́n kan ṣe ń dùn mí pé tí wọ́n gbà àwọn èèyàn wa tí wọ́n bá tẹ̀sí kan mọ̀ nǹkan tí wọ́n ń ṣe tá bá jẹ́ kán lọ fi ẹ̀sìn fúlù wọn tá bá jẹ́ kán fẹ̀sìn fúlù wọn ẹ̀wọ̀n tí wọ́n bá Tinubu fà àwọn gbé oríṣiríṣi ni gbogbo wọn gbé lọ́wọ́ nǹkan kan náà dẹ̀ níjọ́ ni gbogbo wọn wọ́n mọ tó ń fi ń dára wọn mọ̀ àjẹ́ńdà wọn ni àwọn èèyàn wa ni mo fẹ́ kí wọ́n kán jọ kán mọ̀ nǹkan tí wọ́n ń ṣe most of àwọn professor wa nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ń sìn ojú wọn ti ń là. Hello.
à ń gbọ́ yín mo fẹ́ interrupt ní gbogbo ẹ̀sìn pátá ni mo ń gbọ́.
most of our professor wa ojú wọn ti ń là gbogbo ẹnìkan lọ́sàn-án lórí ìsinmi ó ní àwọn professor pé àwọn Fúlàní wọ́n gbé religion kìíní kan ọ̀sọ̀ òyìnbó yẹn bákan wípé wọ́n gbé wá láti wá sí báyìí láti wá máa fi fún àwọn èèyàn wípé ní ìsìnbọn gbogbo àwọn ti là sí gbogbo ẹ̀ pé gbogbo ẹ̀ ló ti yá wọn gbogbo nǹkan tí Tinubu fà yẹn ẹ bá ń ṣe ń dàkàlẹ̀ rú wọ́n ń fa Yorùbá mọ́ra sódà kí Yorùbá lè sọ̀pọ́tì wọn láti máa àgéǹsì Tinubu Yorùbá sẹ́ẹ̀bà dẹ̀ lọ́pọlọ olúmọ máa àgéǹsì Tinubu for now wọ́n ń fa Yorùbá mọ́ra láti wọ́n ti àgéǹsì Tinubu kò dẹ̀ lè work gbogbo yẹn ti kọjá lọ pẹ́lẹ́ Yorùbá ò ní dúró wọ́n ń fara wọn ni ìtàkùn oníkèrè máa gòkè ni òun àti náà jọ ń lọ ẹ máa wo tó máa tẹ̀lé.
ẹ ṣe gan nítorí àsìkò ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ sí the next caller ní kíákíá kí àtọmọ mo kí àwa Grace Olúṣòótọ́ mo kí gbogbo ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ wa pé a kú Sunday ìsinmi ẹ̀ní àtúmọ̀ṣe ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ láyé ẹ bóun sókè alàgbà tó ń pè wá. ohun yẹn lọ́lẹ̀ díẹ̀ bá gbóhùn sókè o àgbọ́yìn o.
ó lè ta.
ó bẹ́tà nísìnyí àgbọ́yìn nísìnyí.
hello.
ó bẹ́tà àgbọ́yìn nísìnyí.
yà mi ò mọ̀ pé wà online gan ṣe ọjà mo fẹ́ bá a kàn mọ́lẹ̀ sí ibi kan mo wà pẹ̀lú àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ mi níbi tí ta ti ń sọ̀rọ̀ kan níbo tí ẹ wà online tó bá ṣe tó máa ti gbà.
All right.
ìmọ̀
Kí
pé
ni
wà
kí ni
lórí.
kí ni nǹkan tẹ́ fẹ́ tẹ́ ká tọ̀ mọ́lẹ̀ sàgbọ́?
Okay, alright. Níbi tí a wà, àwọn ọ̀rẹ́ mi kan àjọ jókòó, so à ń sọ̀rọ̀ ń pẹ́ tí Yorùbá bá pín lénìí àbí kó pín. Àwọn kan àwọn guide ẹ̀ ń sọ pé òfin Nàìjíríà la ṣì máa lò pé wọ́n máa amend òfin.
Ẹni sùúrù ẹni kọ́ ìbọn ọmọ Yorùbá ni wọ́n ìbọn lọ sùkúl tó bá lọ sùkúl ìbọn náà parent tó ní làákàyè nílé. Báwo la ṣe máa lò òfin ìlú kan nígbà tá a bá ṣe gba country míì? Ṣé bó ṣe ń ṣe nìyí? Ṣé nígbà táwọn bá ṣe.
No, àwọn sọ no.
Òun náà ni mò ń sọ a lè lo òfin Nàìjíríà kò possible náà ni mò ń sọ.
Àwọn tó ká máa amend ẹ̀ ni wọ́n ní ká máa amend ẹ̀.
Ajẹ́pọ̀ àwọn yẹn ajẹ́pọ̀ nǹkan mi ti wà lórí brain wọn nìyẹn. Wọ́n ṣe máa ronú bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. Ìyẹn mo yẹ sọ pé ṣèbí táwọn bá tẹ̀ lọ sí school tó yẹ pé wọ́n kọ̀ lọ kọ́ṣẹ́ wọ́n á mọ̀ pé ìyàtọ̀ wà nínú pé tó lọ sí school àti tó lọ kọ́ṣẹ́. Báwo la ṣe máa lo òfin Nàìjíríà nínú new country?
Ó tún ní kan míì tó tún sọ tí mò ń stop mọ́ lẹ́nu pé wọ́n ní àwọn àgbààgbà tó ń rúlu Nàìjíríà yìí sì bí àwọn Bátọjọ́ Tinubu gbogbo wọn à ń kó pé àwọn náà yìí tún máa ṣe mú ní láyé tó wáyé kí wọ́n mọ àwọn tó wà ní ìdíkíní yìí ni.
Wọ́n ní láti mọ ẹni tó wà nídìí anything. Constitution ló máa dictate who becomes the next person of any province. Ṣẹ́rẹ́ àwọn èèyàn ti wà nínú àwọn èèyàn ti wà nínú system tó ṣiṣẹ́ for a very long time. So wọ́n expect pé nǹkan tá à ń sọ yìí probability ẹ̀ wà ó lè ṣẹlẹ̀. So a lè blame wọn because ara ìyàtọ̀ fi wọ́n ti gba freedom ẹni tó bá ti gba freedom lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ bó ṣe máa ronú nìyẹn. Báwo la ṣe fẹ́ lo constitution Nàìjíríà nígbà tẹ́mi dé ìlú yìí mo ṣe máa lo constitution Nàìjíríà láti fi gbé níbí bá. Ebi ò ṣe máa lo òfin Nàìjíríà láti gbogbo àwọn tó wá sí ìlú ìtọ́ ń try láti ṣe nonsense tó máa ń ṣe Nàìjíríà tó bá dé Nàìjíríà padà lọ máa ń ṣe òṣì yẹn gbogbo everybody tó bá ti gbé níbí báyìí tá bá ti dé Nàìjíríà èmi náà ti take advantage yẹn but tá bá ti padà síbẹ̀ àtúntò padà sínú òfin tó yẹ pé àmọ́ kó so a lè lo òfin Nàìjíríà náà kò possible.
Okay sir now nǹkan tí mo kọ sí ẹkọ bá clear ẹ̀ sìn pé dáàbì ń pé tábà wọnú ẹ̀ ń sìn wọ́n máa padà wọ́n ṣe máa kọ new constitution fún Yorùbá nation ní àbí.
Kódà draft constitution ti wà kọ́ lọ sórí Koiki Media a draft constitution ti wà tá a fẹ́ lò but kò ń ṣe òun la máa lò but wọ́n pè ní draft mi pé kò ń ṣe òun ní authentic so tó bá fẹ́ lọ ka draft constitution ẹ̀ máa send ẹ̀ sẹ́ kọ́ lọ sórí koikimedia.com kọ́ lọ mò ń bọ̀ ẹni sùúrù síbẹ̀ draft constitution wà kí ló ń pè ní draft constitution ni àwọn kan ló draft ẹ̀ ṣèbí constitution Nàìjíríà tá à ń lò náà nísìn àwọn kan ló draft ẹ̀ now àwọn kan ló draft ẹ̀ tá a fi sọ pé military decree ni is a military decree that is not working. So Tinubu tó dẹ̀ ń lo this draft okay òun lè lè nísìn a repropose òun lè lè òun lọ kọ sí bíbá nísìn proposed constitution for Yoruba nation 2021 lọ ti draft ilé repropose constitution ẹjẹ ń show screen mi fáwọn tó wò mí live mo ń bọ̀ ẹ máa ti lọ torí pé mo mọ̀ pé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ àwọn èèyàn a ní láti máa ṣàlàyé fún yín náà ni. ẹ̀yin tẹ́ nísìnyí ẹ jẹ́ mò ń bọ̀ ẹ jẹ́ ká record as well torí àwọn tí a máa send ẹ̀ sí ẹ nísìnyí èèyàn wa torí these are the pointers that people are always concerned about so fún àǹfààní àwọn tí wọ́n máa ń béèrè pé tá a bá gba ilẹ̀ Yorùbá tán pé constitution Nàìjíríà la máa lò mo fẹ́ kó yé wa pé kò ní rí bẹ́ẹ̀ o kò sí bá ṣe fẹ́ gba ìlú tuntun tá a máa wá lo constitution ìlú tá a ti ń bọ̀ kò síbi kankan tó ti ń ṣerú ẹ̀ constitution tí a máa draft fúnra wa tí àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n máa draft tí gbogbo ìlú dẹ̀ máa endorse òun la máa lò now for example ní 2021 nígbà tá a bẹ̀rẹ̀ Yorùbá nation àwọn Yorùbá Strategic Alliance wọ́n kọ constitution kan pé propose kí ló ń pè ní propose òun kọ́ ni a máa lò but is a propose pé a lè lo nínú ẹ̀ a lè yọ kúrò nínú ẹ̀ gẹ́gẹ́ bí English dictionary propose put forward ìtagbé síwájú àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n tagbé síwájú àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá pé ẹ lọ gbé yẹ̀ wò ṣérú eléyìí ṣe lò àwọn kan ní no a lè lo eléyìí la máa lò ẹ jẹ́ ká sáré wá ka kí ni wọ́n kọ síbẹ̀ ní August 15, 2021 reproposed constitution for Yoruba nation. Dear beloved citizens of our precious Yoruba nation, You will recall that recently we filed on behalf of our people a submission to International Criminal Court. Nigeria wà ní International Criminal Court ìyẹn ọ̀tọ̀, alleging against the Nigerian officials genocide and crimes against humanity for the ongoing violence perpetrated upon our people. 2021 lele adesiri ní according to paper ti àná fear of terrorism grips southwest, gẹ́gẹ́ bí a ti ṣe gbọ́ pé terrorists ti wà nínú Ọ̀ṣun state, Ondo state àtàwọn other state as well. Ẹ jẹ́ ká padà sí propose yẹn tá à ń kà lọ. This is a great clamor and a movement for self-determination. Therefore, we conveil various academic and practice professionals from several disciplines to craft. Kí ló ń pè ní craft? Wọ́n wo kí wọ́n ṣe lè gbé ọ̀rọ̀ constitution náà kalẹ̀. Various academic, àwọn tó kàwé, àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n ní gbogbo ilẹ̀ Yorùbá àti ní abroad, wọ́n jókòó papọ̀. Wọ́n wá craft a governed charter for Yoruba nation, and we are honored in all gravity to submit for your consideration. Wọ́n ní ká lọ consider ní àgbàwọlé àmọ́ àgbàwọlé is a different topic entirely. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ kẹ́gbọ́n ẹ dákẹ́. A draft to submit your consideration. The constitution for Yoruba nation. Wọ́n sọ pé constitution for Nigeria o. In proposing this constitution, we consider several factors. Wọ́n wo ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ area, including but not limited to the nature of our people. Àwọn èèyàn wa tó jẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá, kò sí tó kàn wá pẹ̀lú ọmọ Yíbò àti Haúsá. Our strength and what we must admit as essential threat. Ewu yẹn náà ni wọ́n ṣe sọ ní Gọ́fúnà Ṣèyí Mákindé ní kọ́jọ́ kọ́ gbà àwọn òun Fúlàní ti fẹ́ gé òun lórí ìyẹn lọ bẹ́ẹ̀. However, we would not but what is apparently a permanent underclass as seen in the northern part of the country. Based on the foregoing, endow the proposed constitution with best practice in governance, namely separation of powers vertically between the federation and the several states. So kò síbi kankan and tó máa sọ pé wọ́n máa wá lọ lo constitution Nigeria wọ̀ọ̀lì ever and àwọn olóko ilé ìníjọ́ náà lọ́hùn àwọn tó ń pè ní Yoruba Strategic Alliance, Dr. Michael Awosanya, proposed constitution for Yoruba nation.
All right, ẹ ṣé gan brother mi, ẹ ṣé gan Ọlọ́run á fún yín ní ìmọ̀ kún ìmọ̀. Mo dúpẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe bá mi tàn bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe bá wa tàn ìmọ́lẹ̀ sí kinní because a ti ń fa kinní yìí sí ó ti ń lọ more than even 30 minutes kó dé pé mo tó ń kọ́ kí n wá kí n pè yín. Mi ò tẹ̀wọ́ pé wà ní online gan ṣẹ̀gbọ́n mo kàn ní kí n pè yín náà wọ́n náà ní pé yẹ kí n pè. So a dúpẹ́ sí pé bá a tàn ìmọ́lẹ̀ sí. Now everybody ní báyìí jọ wa mi ìtàn àwọn náà ti believe pé there's nothing concerning Yoruba nation with Nigeria constitution at all. Kò tẹ̀ sí tó kàn wá rárá níbẹ̀. Níjọ́ tá a bá ti declare Yorùbá nation, gbogbo tó ń jẹ́ constitution Nigeria, gbogbo tó ń jẹ́ Nigeria ó wà invalidated lórí ilẹ̀ wa. Ìjọ́ tí bàbá Akintoye bá ti make a declaration pé Yorùbá nation is now officially a country, from that day wọ́n bí bàbá ńlá anybody dá kó tún lo nǹkan kan tó jẹ́ Nigeria ẹni fẹ́ kú ló máa lò. Ẹni bá fẹ́ kú ló máa lò. Nígbà tí wọ́n fẹ́ gbọ́ ni gbogbo àwọn àtàlà ń gbọ́ bá fẹ́ gba gbogbo ibi táwọn àwọn kọ́ta wọn lọ́wọ́ báyìí sí. Ẹ ṣe gan ìyá ẹ̀kọ́ ẹ̀ máa tó bá ṣe tán máa jọ yín later. All right then.
So fẹ́yìn tí ẹ̀ tún fẹ́ gbọ́ wa dáadáa ẹ jẹ́ ká tẹ̀síwájú báyìí torí pé mo sọ fún yín pé orí ìkànnì láti máa kọ́gbọ́n. Propose òun tún lélẹ́yìí mo ń bọ̀ ẹ jẹ́ n pa íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì ní kí n tún sáré ka jáde torí ẹlòmíì ò tẹ̀ gbọ́ rí pé there was one time a proposed constitution. So brother wa tó pè wọlé náà ni máa send ẹ̀ sí wọn màá wá mo ń bọ̀ máa ti pè àti pa íńtánẹ́ẹ̀tì wa. Now ẹ jẹ́ ká sáré kà as we have it. This was put together in 2021. Proposed Constitution of ORILEEDE Yoruba. Tẹ́ bá lọ sórí koikimedia.com/Yoruba-documents-files. Ẹ bá níbẹ̀. You can go there and download it yourself. But let's read further. This was put together by Yoruba Strategic Alliance. Ìyẹn mo ṣe ní everybody has different role that they are playing. Ọmọlúàbí worldwide. Aderemilekun A. Omojola, ESQ, on the proposed constitution of ORILEEDE Yoruba. We dream of a sovereign Yoruba country worthy of our people. The Yoruba Strategic Alliance is a multidisciplinary group of seasoned Yoruba professionals ranging from business owners, academics in various fields from natural science to law practice, medicine, and even the military. Our ranks include Christians, Isheshe practitioners, Muslims, and Haitis, all from various parts of Yoruba land and diaspora. Some live in the presidential democracy as in the United States, while others live in a parliamentary democracy as the United Kingdom and Canada. Indeed, we are sample representative of the Yoruba people. In the course of advocacy for Yoruba in July 2021, Yoruba Strategic Alliance filed a meticulous submission at the International Criminal Court alleging that officials of the Federal Republic of Nigeria colluded with terrorists to commit genocide and crime against humanity in the ploy to use terrorism as a political tool to coerce the Yoruba into seceding ancestral land. As citizens of the forthcoming Yoruba country, we set out to create an equitable governmental structure so that we have circulated a proposed draft constitution on August 15, 2021, looking to provoke the Yoruba for exchanging, debate, and competing ideas. After gathering response through Constitutional Roadshow, Yoruba Strategic Alliance reconvened exactly 1 year later, August 2022, to review and revise the draft constitution. Lesson from the past, overview of the proposed structure, looking to avoid Obafemi Awolowo fraction frustrations under the parliamentary structure. The proposed draft constitution of August 2021 settled on a presidential structure which is successfully practiced in the United States. But the combination of nostalgia for Awolowo's days and the palatable disregard for Nigeria's unitary governmental structure through inappropriately branded as a presidency has created the desire in some for a parliamentary government. One ideal that was forthwith dismissed was to abolish political parties, saying that functional democratic government in advanced countries are founded upon different political parties with separate ideologies competing for the people's agency, whereas due to some beneficial factors, some insisted on a true presidential structure. Therefore, Yoruba Self-Determination Alliance carefully examined the preferable features of the parliamentary presidential system and now propose a carefully balanced hybrid. In the envisioned Yoruba country, there is a vertical separation of power. On one end, the people retain local authority of their governance and resources by province, organized according to their dialect for ease of administration and accountability. On the other end is a central national government with limited and clearly atomized powers, which must not be breached to administer national issues and inter-province matters best handled by an objective and representative central authority. In this vertical separation of powers between the individual province and the national government, pursuant to Article 1, Section 24, all powers not itemized to the Yoruba national government in Article 2, Section 1 are resident in the province or the people. At the national government, power is further divided horizontally by creating the legislative, Article 2, the executive, Article 3, the judiciary, Article 5, and even the Council of Kings. Under Article, Section 1, local authority is organized into province based on dialect, Ìpínlẹ̀ Èdè, as determined by a plebiscite, thus replacing the arbitrary state boundaries in Nigeria with the organic settlement based on dialect. Under this provincial system, there will, to name a few, be an Ekiti province, Ijebu province, Egba province, Ikale province, Ishekiri province, perhaps even an Awori province or an Egun province, each with its respective unicameral legislature and a premier. Pursuant to Article 1, Section 3, the province model the national structure except that this section does not implicitly require the people to appoint the judges of each province judiciary, which must be created according to Article 3, Section 3. It is expected, however, that similar to the process in Article 3, Section 1, Clause 3 for selecting the judges of the national government, the judges of the provincial government who, according to Article 3, Section 3, rule on legal matters arising from the laws of their respective province, shall also be appointed by the executive of each province and confirmed by their local legislature. Long before colonization, Yoruba ancestors organically the checks and balance that is now a pillar of modern democratic systems. We had the monarchy, but balanced the king's power with the Ogboni institution along with the system of chiefs. The structure set forth in this proposed constitution follows our ancestors in carefully balancing the powers of the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. There must be the arbiter of legal and constitutional issues, while the right of the people remain primary and scaled, hence intentionally set forth in Article 1. The people's right. In any society, Yoruba Strategic Alliance recognize that the people being the source of power, and authority are paramount, but the people's rights are meaningless without protection for the individual and collectively. So that this proposed constitution begins with a focus on the people's right, as it is impossible to list the entirety of the people's right in Article 1 pursuant to Section 23. The people retain all rights that are not enumerated in the proposed constitution. Notwithstanding the foregoing, it is necessary to highlight several issues which are addressed in this proposed constitution. The Yoruba have an essential foe who have sought to usurp our ancestral geographical space, particularly twice in the 18th century through the blood and iron. Thankfully, our ancestors repelled this sinister nemesis, but this foe has returned nearly 200 years since the last failed conquest, as the state entity of Nigeria strategically positioned this foe to achieve what could not be done by open war. Therefore, the preservation of the Yoruba requires that the proposed constitution reflect a policy of protectionalism, which is practiced to varying degrees in several countries, including Japan, the United Arab Emirates, the United Kingdom, etc. Citizenship, voting, land, ownership, military service, and political office, all of which are keys to the Yoruba ancestral space, must be guided with all diligence. Every natural person having one parent of Yoruba ancestral is a citizen, Article 1, Section 2, but only citizen by birth by two natural parents of Yoruba ancestral may vote, contest, or hold public office, Article 1, Section 4, serve in the military, Article 2, Section 1, Clause 20, or hold title to land unless the land is inherited from at least one Yoruba parent, Article 1, Section 6. Regarding land, it is noteworthy that under this proposed constitution, pursuant to Article 1, Section 5, all land belongs to naturally person, that is, instead of the government. Yoruba people will directly hold title to their land. Other notable word items enshrined as people's right in Article 1 are the right to dignity, Section 5, right to Yoruba language, Section 1, right to meaningful education, Section 8, no discrimination on the basis of sex, Section 12, Clause 1, freedom of religion, Section 12, Clause 2, no discrimination on the basis of physical disability, Section 12, Clause 3, freedom of speech, Section 13, right to due process, Section 17, and the right in criminal matters, Section 18. And Wahad, most importantly, the right to freedom from corruption, Section 7. This clearly strips government officials of criminal immunity even while in office, and mandate a reorientation program to prepare our people for a country worth of them. Having begun the proposed constitution with the people's right, Yoruba Strategic Alliance proceed to legislature. All agents of Yoruba tasked with representing them in the politics and national government of the Yoruba people, the legislature. Article 2. For now. If you want this, you can go on Kiki Media website and get this, and then you can use it. So, Bogwentoni, Tabagba Yoruba Nation, Amamalu Constitution Nigeria, that is a complete lie, because a draft constitution has given us exactly what we should expect when we have our ORILEEDE Yoruba. The earlier we do quicker, the better we can have a constitution that serve and respect you, not the fraudulent constitution as enshrined in this fraudulent country you are calling Nigeria, because every evidence has pointed that we do not have a constitution right now. What we have is a military decree, and that military decree will not work for Tinubu to use to make our life better, will not work to fix the problem of Nigeria, will never work, because that constitution that Tinubu is using is the same constitution that Obasanjo used, that Buhari, Yar'Adua, and the rest of them, and Jonathan, and it has never made our life better. So in the interest of Yoruba people, we have our own independent Yoruba country with our own brand new constitution that will respect you, that will allow you, that will not discriminate you from being able to take part of the resources that will be used to protect you. But if you say you don't want Yoruba nation, you will never enjoy peace in Nigeria, because the constitution alone means that you will never be able to do so. Let's listen to how fraudulent the Nigerian constitution, according to Agbakoba, as stated here.
President Tinubu needs to put his best foot forward to govern the country. If he does that, in 4 years, he can turn things around. But there are certain... President Tinubu needs to put his best foot forward to govern the country. If he does that, in 4 years, he can turn things around. But there are certain critical things he would need to do. The first thing is to say, what's the constitution? If, for instance, me and my wife Lillian don't agree in our marriage of 45 years, then we can't do anything. So the first thing that President Tinubu would need to do is to ensure that Nigerians all agree to be one country. You recall that Bolaige asked those two questions. Do we want to be one? It's not by force. If we want to be one, how? We haven't answered those questions, which is why I told President Babi of the Senate that it has taken 23 years to solve the problem of the Constitution. And I urged him, in conjunction with President Tinubu, to resolve the Nigerian constitutional question now by inviting the owners of Nigeria. The owners of Nigeria, mark you, were those who owned Nigeria before Lugard brought his amalgamation in 1914. Call them in. These are the people who own the country, and ask them questions. What do you want to see of the Constitution? Because without a Constitution, we're going nowhere. And no one will doubt the fact that the Constitution bequeathed by the military in 1999 is unsatisfactory. You can't build anything out of a weak foundation. The economic development policy of President Tinubu, the political development policy of President Tinubu, and everything else he wants to do rests on a very solid foundation. So let him immediately resolve that. How can we spend 23 years looking for a foundation for building a house? Does that make sense to anybody? So that's my number one issue. We need to resolve this issue of, do we want to be one? And mark you, the flip side of the question is that we mustn't be one, because Yugoslavia, which was 6 countries under Marshal Tito, when he died, decided to break apart. And today, a lot of them are very strong countries. Macedonia, Croatia, Slovenia, Slovakia. They're all doing well. So there is no sacrosanctity about Nigeria being one country. There's none. I personally would wish for Nigeria to be one country, but we must agree. Now that is the problem. Because we have not agreed, and because the National Assembly has appropriated to itself the all-knowing wisdom of giving us a constitution, that is the weakness.
Problems in the land. And the problems, I want to say this, I might be off the cuff, is because of our constitution. We have problems in the land. And the problems, I want to say this, I might be off the cuff, is because of our constitution. Also, Nigeria is not operating any constitution known to honesty, entrenched in group faith, brought about by unanimity of the people, acceptable to federalism. And again, that is also, we also have that problem in the judiciary. Because of the Nigerian situation, we have a unitary system. That's what we run. Hydra-headed. Don't let us pretend. And I've said it over and over. And I'll continue to say it. And that's unitarism. Has also crept into the judiciary. Today, the entire Nigerian judiciary is unitarized. The Supreme Court is federal. Federal Court of Appeal, the Court of Appeal is federal. Federal High Court is federal. FCT is federal. National Industrial Court is federal. Customary Court of Appeal of the Federal High Court is federal. Sharia Court of Appeal of the Federal High Court is federal. All jurisdictions. That the Coyote of this world, that the occupants of this world, that the bailiffs of this world, when they were in their respective high courts, exercised, making the law to be profound, succulent, rich, exciting, they are now vested in the different federal high court or federal courts. We're talking of how to reform the system. There is no justification in a state, in a nation like Nigeria, purporting to practice federalism, where even the Supreme Court should be overburdened with unnecessary jurisdiction in respect of land matters from Yoruba land, respect of divorce, respect of family matters, chieftaincy matters. How do they know? I don't want us to be deceiving ourselves. Assuming I'm even appointed to the Supreme Court today, I'm above the age, but assuming, and I'm sitting there, and you bring a matter on appeal in respect of Kanuri native law and custom, or Igbo native law and custom, or Igbo land tenure system, and I sit there and I'm writing judgment. I'm a Yoruba man. What do I know about that? Those kind of cases to stop at the state, either Court of Appeal or Supreme Court. Go to the United States of America. Each state has its own Supreme Court. We are running into trouble. We are inching there, and time is not in our favor. And I'm not tickled by what the National Assembly is doing. They are not being fair to themselves. They are not being fair to us. They claim to be amending the Constitution. What are they amending? And I want to repeat it. Do you amend something that is not amendable? When you want to amend the Constitution, by the way, Lati, where do you start? You start from the preamble. We the people? Oh yes, they have to amend it. Why are they running away from it? If they cannot amend the preamble, if the preamble is not amendable, then it means the Constitution is not amendable. Come on. They have to start from it. Do you start reading your letter from the back page? Do you? No, they have to start from the preamble. That means the preamble is fake. We the people, who are the we? When did we meet? And why can't we do it? I've studied the constitutions of the world. And I say this also with every sense of humility. There's no constitution that is near as fake, near as deceitful, near as make-believe in nature and in content as the Constitution, as what we call the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended.
Funke! Ayemi temi bami. Apostle, we hear of this.
What are they amending? I challenge them, and I challenge the National Assembly, and they must answer this question. When you are amending, you first of all start from the preamble. Because if the people didn't meet and they put it there by the respected or by the Abdul Salam military government, they say, we the people. You must first amend it.
If they're going to amend it, what should it say?
I wouldn't
Well, you've just heard from Chief Olanipekun, a senior advocate of Nigeria, constitutional lawyer, that Nigeria constitution is one of the fraudulent constitutions around the world. And I'm not sure how we expect this present administration to make our life better in the same constitution. That is how far we can take you this night on this particular journey of the Sunday broadcast. Have a blessed week ahead. Hopefully we catch up. If otherwise, we will be out whenever we are out. Follow our backup YouTube channel. That is the only way we can stream for now. That is the WD76 Media, and I'm sure many of you are listening from there. But you have probably not found it yet, but I'm sure with time we will continue to share the link. I'm sure you will all find exactly where that is. And then on that beautiful note, I say happy Sunday. Enjoy the rest of the Sunday, and hopefully we catch up again. Yoruba Nation not going back. It is not just my responsibility, it is the responsibility of everybody. I'm playing my role from the media perspective. It's entirely up to you to play your role so that we can liberate our people and we all be free simultaneously. Moki Professor Adebanji Akintoye, Moki Baba Oluwole, Moki Gbogbo àwọn ìyá wa, Moki Gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n jẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá ní diaspora àti Yorùbá tó ń bẹ nílé. Iṣẹ́ gbogbo wa ni iṣẹ́ tó wà lọ́wọ́ wa ni, and we all have to play the role, and then as long as we play the role, we can achieve our aims and dreams quickly. Nobody hates Tinubu, but it's entirely up to him to do the needful before it is too late. If otherwise, nobody will listen to the government again. And on that note, enjoy this, and we come back, we play the anthem, and I say Ireu. Bear with us. I think I didn't put that on. Thought I had it on. All right, that's it. It's coming now.
Impediment to Yoruba development is the impediment to Odua development. Without Nigeria, we won't be where we are. 1962, we were far ahead of South Korea and North Korea. We were far ahead of China even. We had television before France. We had radio before South Africa. Now look at where we are today. I think it's a shame that even any Yoruba man can be talking about restructuring at this point in time. What are we restructuring? This country that is already shot to pieces? I don't think that's what we want. But they are always talking about giving Nigeria a chance. The patience of Yoruba with Nigeria has come to an end.